welcome to the live broadcast of the second T20 between Sri Lanka and New Zealand at the Sara Oval in Colombo. The first game going New Zealand's way by 5 wickets, but that scoreline doesn't reflect how close it was. There would definitely have been some nervous minds in the New Zealand camp. Nevertheless, they go up 1-0 in the series after a surprising loss in the ODI series. I'm joined in the commentary box by Ricky. A big game for Sri Lanka today.
Yes, good morning Estelle, good morning to all our viewers joining us here today on this live broadcast. Yes, certainly it's going to be a very good game. I feel Sri Lanka need to come back to square the series, and New Zealand, after being sort of hammered, you would say, in that one-day series towards the end, they will have a lot to play for. They will want to try and have this T20 series, take it their way, try to have a whitewash. So this second game is very, very important, and I'm sure the toss is going to play a crucial role as well. A bit gloomy out there, the conditions today so far this morning, but we hope the weather stays good and the sun will come out, so we have a good game.
Yeah, those are the results from the game so far on this tour. Sri Lanka winning 2 of the ODIs by 9 wickets and 8 wickets. And New Zealand a comfortable win in that second ODI by 116 runs. But they've gone up 1-0 in this T20 series. So 2 games to come. Will today decide the result of the series, or will we have to go to Wednesday for a decider?
Yes, we saw a bit of a low-scoring game in the first one. Sri Lanka just making 106 and New Zealand getting there in 18.5 overs. They didn't have it easy. The spinners dominated for both sides, and batting was a bit difficult. So the surface is going to be very crucial in this game. What will the oval ground have on offer? We'll have to wait and see as later on when we have the toss and the pitch report. But certainly, I think once again spinners will come into this game.
Yeah, just looking at the tally, Sri Lanka have never beaten New Zealand. So today will be another opportunity for them to get that first win against Kiwis in T20 cricket. They registered their first ODI win and first ever win against the White Ferns in the ODI series in Galle. Today will be another opportunity for them to do it in the shorter format of the game as well.
Yes, I think it's the best opportunity as well as the way they played. They are a confident side now after winning that ODI series. So what a way to go and get that first T20 win. I mean, no better opportunity. You could square the series as well, playing on home conditions, playing on surfaces that suit their game as well. So Sri Lanka certainly will be looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's a summary of the first T20. Sri Lanka 106 for 9. You'd have to say the key wicket there was from Eden Carson. She got Chamari Atapattu out in the first delivery of the game. New Zealand 107 for 5. Susie Bates top scoring with 44 of 47. Dismissed with just 3 runs required for the win, and ultimately they got home with 5 wickets and an over to spare.
Yes, earlier on today, the players were warming up on the grounds. They were here early, both the teams, the New Zealand White Ferns as well as the Sri Lankan squad going through their drills. We'll see, as I mentioned, a lot of spinners in action. I'm sure the spinners will play a big role in this game. Chamari Atapattu, as always, has a big smile on her face, enjoying cricket. She was unlucky the other day, and when she fails generally in one game, she comes good the next one. That sort of a player she is, and as we were talking off here, so 2 ducks or 2 first ballers and then 2 hundreds. So probably then the way things have gone, she's due today, and Sri Lanka cricket will be hoping, Sri Lankan cricket fans will be hoping Chamari will come good.
Inoshi Fernando also had a great game in the first T20, back in the T20 side after 4 years. So it's a massive moment for her. She picked up 3 for 17, her best bowling figure. So she'll be another crucial part of Sri Lanka's bowling attack today. As you mentioned, we're sure to see plenty of spin on this track. The same pitch being used as was used in the first game as well.
Yes, Inoshi Fernando, she looked confident in the field. She held on to a very good catch as well to pick up that first wicket at mid-on for Skyer. So she looked very confident. She was running about. She was good in the outfield. and she bowled with a lot of control, I thought, in that game, much better than some of the seniors did, like Oshadi Ranasinghe or even Inoka Ranavira. So she's going to play a crucial part, and I'm sure she will look forward to continue that momentum.
Yeah, speaking of the conditions, Ricky, we had Gamini Pereira down in the middle a short while ago for the pitch report.
Good morning, everyone. Not the brightest day you'll ever see. Sun is still trying to creep through the clouds. Temperature is around 28 degrees. Let's hope that the rain will stay away for us to have a good game. 63 yards right around. Although it's slightly on the heavier side, you'll get enough value on it. Well, we are on the same surface as the first one. Lot drier, I'll tell you. Still hard enough. All these little cracks will not have an effect when it comes to batting. Hardly any grass on it. It's going to be a lot slower today. It'll be easier while the ball is new, but as it gets older, it'll be too paced, so you'll have to really have your control when it comes to hand speed. Spinners might be able to take some bite off the surface. As far as the fast bowlers are concerned, well, their work is cut out. Incidentally, both teams combined, their faster bowlers bowled 7.5 overs in the first ODI. Unless you have your pace and length variations in your skill set, well, they will not be trusted to bowl on this one. So what are you going to do when you win the toss? On a surface like this, around 140, 150, batting first will put a lot of pressure on the chasing side. But having said that, New Zealand skipper Sophie Devine mentioned about that they have no idea of how many to get if you bat first on a track like this. So she opted to chase. Sri Lanka won the 2 games in that ODIs, rain shortened games, both of them, by chasing. So I'll say tactically, both teams will be looking to chase.
Gamini Pereira is still looking very fit and slim out there in the centre with that pitch report, isn't it?
Yeah, always. That's always the case. Win the toss and chase is what he says. Be interesting to see what happens. That's exactly the thought process that went for New Zealand in the last game. We saw in the first 3 ODIs, they won the toss and decided to bat first, but change of plans in the T20 series. Will it be a 5th toss for Sophie Devine to win, and how crucial will that be?
Yes, I think it's going to be very crucial to what she will do if she wins the toss again. Will she opt to bat second, like Gamini mentioned in the pitch report, and what Chamare will opt to do? But like we saw, even batting second, they struggled to get, it was not easy to get to that 107. They used up 18.5 overs. So something like 140 is going to be a really good score if you bat first and if your spinners come into the game. So it's going to be a very decisive toss.
Yeah, speaking of how decisive the toss will be, let's see what the captains had to say to Damit Veerasinghe at the toss.
It's time for the toss for the second T20I between Sri Lanka women and New Zealand women here at Sara Oval. I have the 2 captains with me, Chamari Athapattu of Sri Lanka, Sophie Devine of New Zealand, and the ICC match referee, Michelle Pereira. The home team skipper, Chamari, will now give it a spin. Sophie has won the toss once again. Sophie, what are you going to do?
We're going to have a bowl first today.
Is it going to be the same game plan just like in the first T20I?
Look, I think that's the blueprint, but we've got to be pretty flexible. Obviously, it looks like there's a bit of weather around, and we know that the Sri Lankan team are going to come out strong after the first performance.
Any changes to your team?
Yeah, just the one change. Fran Jonas comes back in for Hannah Rowe.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Chamari, if you had won the toss, what would you have done?
Definitely we will bat first, yeah.
So now you all are batting first. What sort of a score do you want to post?
I think this condition is really good for batting, but I feel that the condition a little bit slow, the pitch will be a little bit slow, but 140, 145 is good score in this wicket.
Any changes to your team?
Yeah, we have 2 changes, Hasini Pereira and Sugandhika Datsanayaka back in the side.
Thank you very much, Chamari. All the very best.
Thank you so much.
So the news from the centre is New Zealand have won the toss and they will bowl first.
Yeah, so 5th toss going Sophie Divine's way, and once again she decides to have a ball first. Interesting, Chamari Atapattu saying she would have batted first anyway, looking at the conditions. What do you think, Ricky?
Yes, I thought so that if Sri Lanka won the toss, I had that feeling that they would have batted first because they would have felt that they could have defended if they got 140 on the board. So Chamari Atapattu, Gunaratna, Samara Vikrama, De Silva, Sanjeevani, Kavisha Dilhari, Hasini Pereira in there, and Susandika Kumari as well. Inoshi, Fernando, Ranavir and Prabodhini. So they are tightened up and even made their bowling spin attack stronger, Estelle.
Yeah, Oshadi Ranasinghe missing out in this game. Sugantika Kumari coming in. Hansima Karunaratne also on the bench. For New Zealand, they've got one change as well. Fran Jonas coming into the side instead of Hannah Rowe. So they've strengthened their spin bowling attack. Left arm spin of Fran Jonas, I'm sure will be really useful, especially against the right-handers in the Sri Lankan side. Apart from that, no changes for the visitors.
Yes, that a strong batting lineup in Bates and Divine, who are going to play a crucial role for New Zealand when they come out to chase. So they always need one of those three to go on to get a big score. But their spinners, they look good as well, and they look a strong attack combination, a good strong bowling combination. So the two umpires are out there already in the centre. Umpire Kotachi, one of the most senior umpires now here in Sri Lanka, in charge of this game, the on-field, one of the on-field umpires. And the two opening batters for Sri Lanka as the New Zealand team with a big smile on their face. They're enjoying their cricket. That is what's needed. I'm sure they enjoyed their tour to Sri Lanka, though they lost the ODI series. It has been a learning experience for them as well, playing on these sort of surfaces. And they are a strong bunch. So Chamari Atapattu duck in that last game. But the strike rate is very crucial, 103. Average at 21, well experienced, over 2,400 runs. The number one ODI batter now in women's cricket. She'll have a lot to do. I'm waiting to see if she's going to take strike once again in this game. That is crucial. She did in that last game. She is, isn't it, Estelle? So she's taking on that responsibility from ball number one.
Looks like there's been a last-minute change of mind. It'll be Vishmi Gunaratne taking strike against Eden Carson, who I think really struck the decisive blow in that first over of the previous game. Just an arm ball to Chamari Atapattu. There you go. Vishmi Gunaratne's record so far, 17 games, a best of 45, which came at the T20 World Cup earlier this year. She was really good in the first T20. I thought she took the attack to the New Zealand bowling. Scored a couple of boundaries and really gave the innings a little bit of momentum in those early overs despite the loss of Atapattu's wicket.
Yes, you could see her game developing over the last few months, over the last few series. Her batting is getting better. She's playing more shots. She's playing more aggressive cricket. And that fear factor she had in the start of her career as a 17-year-old, you understand, that is gradually going away now. And she's looking more comfortable against a stronger opposition, against a stronger bowling lineup. And that is good for Sri Lanka women's cricket if Vishmi Gunaratne can grow in stature. And I'm sure she can learn a lot with Chamari Atapattu at the other end. So this is good for Sri Lanka. Chamari Atapattu, I feel, at the non-strikers end.
Yeah, New Zealand also making a change. Fran Jonas opening the bowling instead of Carson. Goes aerial first ball, Vishmi Gunaratne. But it's safe. The pick up too. It'll be good for her to just get runs off the bat first up.
Interesting tactics, interesting mind games there. So they wanted Carson, the off-spinner, to bowl to the left hand. Soon as they saw Gunaratne taking strike, they went for the left arm orthodox spinner with the ball turning away.
Yeah, that's the advantage New Zealand have in terms of the variety in their attack. They've got a leg spinner as well in Amelia Kerr to come. So they've got the type of bowlers who can trouble any type of batter in the Sri Lankan side. That's Jonas's record. 3 for 16, her best bowling figures, just 15 games so far. It's through the gap from Gunaratne. Not great fielding. I think that was Eden Carson at backward point. Just threw her and finds the boundary.
Yes, the New Zealand fielding on this tour hasn't been at their best, and that is rather surprising because they take a pride in their fielding generally. New Zealand cricket, whether it men's or women's cricket, they're very good. They're catching or in the inner circle. And once again, you could see that mistake giving away the first boundary for this game.
Yeah, both of these players, the bowler and the batter, played at the Under-19 World Cup earlier this year. They would have come up against each other there as well. Gunaratne started well so far. She'll be happy with that. That shot through the boundary would have given her a lot of confidence.
Certainly, Sri Lanka's one of Sri Lanka's lone supporters, always there at each and every game. Once again with the Sri Lankan national flag. She's looking to keep it straight, bowl stump to stump. Not to give Vishmi Gunaratne that width outside the off stump. She likes the width, she likes to go through the offside. Even there you could see she was trying to give herself some room to squeeze it into the offside.
That's a good finish from Fran Jonas to the over. 2 dot balls to finish. Sri Lanka 6 for none after 1 over. Sri Lanka 6 for no loss after 1 over. Looks like Sophie Devine will be taking the new ball from the other end. Devine, New Zealand's top wicket taker in T20 cricket, and she's also the second highest run getter, so you can imagine what value she adds to this White Ferns side as an all-rounder.
It's taking the new ball. This delivery to start up, bowled a couple of overs in the last game as well. So much experience. They have the variety in their attack. They have the bowlers to take on that lead and bowl in these power plays or in important moments. 120 games.
That's nicely done from Matapattu. Just drops it on the leg side, runs through for the single. She'll realize how important her wicket is to the Sri Lankan innings today. Really struggled to get going in that first T20 after the setback in the first delivery.
Yes, I think Chamari Atapattu is the difference of Sri Lanka making a total of 100 or going 140 plus. But if she scores, Sri Lanka can get 140 plus. But if she doesn't, Sri Lanka struggles to get past that 110, 115 mark. That has been the maximum if you analyze how they played over the last several series or the months. So when she fails, they tend very difficult to get over 120. It will be called wide. Little bit of extra effort in that delivery. Left hand, right hand combination, good for Sri Lanka as well in these power play overs.
Vishmi Gunaratne wouldn't mind that line from Sophie Devine. She'll be looking to go over that mid-wicket, you feel. Does have a lot of shots on the leg side. This time, wide outside the off stump. Gunaratne not able to make contact. Again, going really hard, so that's interesting to see. We did see in the ODIs, Gunaratne just trying to give the strike to Atapattu, just trying to stay in for as long as she could. Looks like a lot of those plans have changed with the T20s.
Yes, the very first delivery she got as well in this innings. She went over the top to the offside. Inside edge onto pad. She's certainly looking to play a few more shots. what she could do is also try to get those singles in between, and there is always going to be those good deliveries. So then you need to just keep rotating the strike, give respect to the good delivery. If it's a poor delivery, put it away to the boundary. That's where I think Vishmi Gunaratne can work on a game quite a lot.
Yeah, and if you look at the fielders on the offside as well, they're right at the circle. So the opportunity for singles is there. That's a good shot. Gunaratne not really able to find the gap. She picks up one nonetheless. So I was saying, all the fielders are right at the edge of the circle. So there is that opportunity to kind of drop and run if Gunaratne and Atapattu are looking for that.
So those soft hands using your wrist, very, very crucial. A pace for Chamari Atapattu. Good bowling though by Sophie Devine. She's keeping it straight, not giving Atapattu that width outside the off stump where she is so strong. 2 overs completed, 10 without loss.
Sri Lanka 10 for no loss after 2. Atapattu on 2 of 3 deliveries. So far, Gunaratne has been kind of the dominant partner, has got more strike. Eden Carson into the attack now that Atapattu is facing up. Interesting how she goes here. Will she bowl the arm ball once again?
Yes, she has a long off on the boundary and a deep mid-wicket. Controlling the boundary line. So 5 fielders on the offside. She's bowling those quicker deliveries, not letting Chamari Atapattu get under it. Trying to make a play off the back foot. Need a lot of skill to bowl in the power play overs with the fielders up, and bowling to a player in the caliber of Chamari Atapattu as well. Carson so far has done a good job.
Yeah, I think if you see how Fran Jonas and Carson have gone about things so far in this innings, they've bowled a lot quicker. Haven't really been tossing the ball up, especially to Atapattu.
Chamari Atapattu has to have that patience. She's going to get that loose delivery. Carson has a very good economy rate of just 5.45. A mix up, and did the cross. What happened there? I thought that was not good communication at all between the 2 batters. Vishmi Gunaratne didn't even leave a crease. Chamari Atapattu just pushed it straight down the ground and took off.
Yeah, not great communication between the two. Atapattu, after 4 dot balls, was looking to get off strike. Just hit it towards mid-wicket and took off. I don't know if there were calls, but Carson gets round Gunaratne. And just, once again, she's had Atapattu dismissed in one of her overs. So this is a crucial wicket for New Zealand. One they would have dearly wanted when they won the toss. 2.5 overs done. Sri Lanka 10 for 1.
The time has come, once again, for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
So there you go, that's a big wicket for New Zealand. 2.5 overs, 10 for 1. Chamari Athapattu has been run out. Harshika Samaravikrama into the crease. Beautifully off the mark, driven through the offside. That's a good shot. Very good cricketing shot. Slight bit of room outside the off stump, just went through, flowing off drive, and picks up her first boundary. Second boundary of this innings. 3 overs completed, 14 for 1. And what a mix-up that was between Chamari Athapattu and Vishmi Gunaratne. Harshika Samaravikrama, 41 games. She has played quite a lot now. Strike rate of 90. She'll be looking to improve on that in T20 cricket. Average in 23. So she's growing with confidence. She hasn't really delivered to the expectations everybody thought so, but plenty of time to do that, and she has to take that responsibility now and try to bat long.
Here's the run out once again. I beg your pardon, that was the boundary from Harshita Samaravikrama, right through extra cover. Great way to start an innings, just in the slot.
So we have another bowling change. Pace now. With bowler, she's bowler. A big booming drive through the offside, a big inside edge onto the stumps, and not much of footwork from Vishmi Gunaratne. You could see her left leg didn't go anywhere near the ball, just the throwing a bat at that one. And on this sort of a surface, which is slightly too paced, you need to have the proper technique, and that was not a good shot, especially after you have just lost your captain.
Yeah, Tahuhu this time. Just plenty of width for Vishmi Gunaratne, and her eyes lit up, looking for that booming drive, but just only able to get the inside edge, and it's back onto the stumps. You wonder if that run out was playing in her mind a little bit. Youngster, new to international cricket. She's just had a captain run out with her on the other end. So that's the end of the second wicket for Sri Lanka. 14 for 2. Kavisha Dilhari in at number 4 today. The one who had a decent run in the ODI series, so we'll have a little bit of confidence coming into this game. Plenty of time remaining in the match, so there's time for her to settle in and get Sri Lanka towards a good total.
It's promoted up the order, has to take on the responsibility. So now it's interesting to see with Chamari Athapattu gone, how much Sri Lanka could get in the last game too, when she was out in the first ball. Now on her minds was how much Sri Lanka could get, and it's interesting to see how they go about their work. They had a few good batters in this lineup, some experience as well, with Hasini Pereira in the squad.
Kavisha Dilhari, 36 matches, a best of 47, not out. She's another one that Sri Lanka have stuck with, a younger player that they have put a lot of faith in. Beginning to repay it. Big appeal for Tahuhu, and that's given. It's a massive wicket once again. Just missing a straight one.
That looked out. She was playing across the line. She was walking across her stumps. And soon as it hit, I thought that was a goner. Tahuhu keeping it a wicket to wicket, stump to stump. And Kavisha Dilhari, she was in a tangle. There you go. That looked out. That would have crashed into a off stump, I feel. Was it probably outside the off stump? I think that would have been an umpire's call at the end. That seemed a good decision. Kavisha Dilhari out without scoring. Sri Lanka 14 for 3.
Hasini Pereira, the new bat for Sri Lanka. So they've lost 2 wickets in this over. A massive one in the context of the game. Pereira was the only one from Sri Lanka's squad to play the warm-up at the MCA grounds before this series and got 60 odd in that game. Played well in the V, look to take on the bowler. So let's see what she can do here.
So shows solid defense. She has the experience, and now is to have to look to bat long as possible. They cannot give their wickets away. Look at the experience of Tahu. 76 games. Economy rate just 5.99. Bowls in the power play overs. Bowls at the death. So that economy rate is excellent in T20 cricket. And she has played a lot against a strong opposition over the years. Straight away into her stride, picking up 2 wickets. Not giving anything away at all.
Hasini Pereira has been around the Sri Lankan setup for ages now. 57 games, an average of 11.24, 72.59 strike rate. So she'll want to do much better than that in this game. Try to push Sri Lanka towards that 120 to 130 run mark. It's nicely played in the gap once again. Picking up a single. Tahuhu 2 wickets for just 1 run. That's the end of the 4th over. Sri Lanka 15 for 3.
So there you go, the wickets to fall. That was the run out. Well, Vishmi Gunaratne didn't even move from a crease. She was just watching Chamari Athapattu run towards big inside edge. After that, she was clean bowled, and then the LBW. That was marginal. The umpire went with the bowler. Could have gone either way, probably. But Sri Lanka definitely in lots of trouble at the moment.
Carson continues. Got 2 left-handers on at the crease right now for Sri Lanka. She'll like that. And to take the ball away from the left-handers.
Going to use her feet against Carson. Hasini Pereira, that's good batting. Gets a couple of runs. Could see she was looking to come forward, take a step forward down the track to negate that little bit of spin. It is good wrist work as well. Sri Lanka need to get chipping away. If they cannot get the boundaries, they need to get the 1s and 2s regularly. Here you go again. Again, those wrists are coming into play, trying to play through that offside.
Yeah, Hasini Pereira usually bats in the top 3. So she won't be too uncomfortable coming in with the ball still new. Power play still on.
So I like the confidence she's showing. She has to have that patience as well. No hurry at all. Still 15 overs remaining after this. That's a long way for this team.
That's straight through everything, and it's gone down to the boundary. Lucky runs for Sri Lanka. Bye is called by the umpire.
It was a full toss. Hasini Pereira's eyes lit up, but she failed to make impact or get any bet on it. And right through the wicketkeeper, I think probably was she unsided? No, that was that awkward bounce. Just bounced in front of her. Couldn't get anything behind that one.
Yeah, Carson was wiping her hands with a towel afterwards, so definitely some humid conditions out there, finding it a bit difficult to grip the ball. That's the end of the 5th over. Sri Lanka in trouble, 21 for 3.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
Just at the 5th over ends, you see the covers coming on, a light drizzle here in Colombo. It's been gloomy all day. Lots of cloud cover, and finally some rain coming down. Hope it's not too long of a break. New Zealand have had bad luck with the weather in this tour so far. 2 games affected by the rain. They've lost. They will hope that that's not the case this time.
Yes, we hope that it will clear out. It has been like this all morning, a slight drizzle, then again bright sunshine. on my way to the grounds as well, I happen to witness this quite a lot. So we hope that the rains won't hang on for long and it will clear out quickly as possible, so that we will continue with the game. Right now the ground staff doing their hard work as always. Sri Lankan ground staff, they are up to the task quickly to get on the covers, cover the surface and the square, and they do a wonderful job with whatever venue it is. Colombo, Galle, Lanka, wherever you go, they always are brilliant, probably the best in the world in covering the grounds up quite quickly. So we have hope 5 overs 21 for 3 that we'll have some play soon as possible. The ground staff and the groundsman in charge, the curator, doing his work. No easy task. Those covers are very heavy. If you try pulling them, they're very heavy, and when they get wet, it's even more difficult. It's very slippery out there, but so quickly they have managed to cover most of the square, and that is brilliant. The rain is easy enough, though the covers out there, it's easy enough a little bit, and we hope those clouds move away. So play has been interrupted due to rain in this second T20, Sri Lanka women versus New Zealand women. 21 for 3 after 5 overs. Sri Lanka being put into bat once again, losing the toss, and they lost the 3 key wickets at the top of the order, including the skipper Chamari Athapattu, due to a mix-up and being run out. New Zealand on top at the moment, just 4 runs per over for Sri Lanka, and New Zealand will take that after opting to bowl first in this game here at the P. Sara Oval. Bit of a grey cloud cover over the grounds.
So that's the scorecard for Sri Lanka. Chamari Athapattu out for 2, Vishmi Gunaratne 7, and Kavisha Dilhari a duck. 3 wickets in 2 overs for the White Ferns, really putting them on top. 21 for 3 Sri Lanka after 5. It's going to be a really uphill task if they are to get to a good total. At the moment, play has been interrupted by rain, so we'll have to wait and see whether there are any changes in the playing conditions, reduction of overs. But so far, it's been New Zealand's day.
Yes, the spinner started off Franjana 1 over just for 6 runs. Sophie Devine 1 over for 4. Eden Carson 2 overs for 6, and Leah Tahu picking up 2 for 1 of a 1 over. She was outstanding. She broke the backbone there of the Sri Lankan top order straight away and put New Zealand on top. So wickets falling very, very quickly at 10, 14 and 14. 5 extras so far in this innings, including those 4 byes. Take a look.
So this is the innings so far. That's the first boundary. Vishmi Gunaratne just getting it through the offside. Eden Carson with a misfield, and there, the crucial moment of the game. Eden Carson just picking up the ball, throwing it to the wicket keeper. That was a bit of cricket from Sri Lanka, you have to say. Harshita Samaravikrama started off with a boundary through the covers. I have to think that she's going to be a key for Sri Lanka's success here. Next over, Tahu, who comes in, gets Vishmi Gunaratne bowled. Then a couple of deliveries later, traps Kavisha Dilhari in front of the stumps. Umpire Nimali Pereira giving that out. So 3 quick wickets for New Zealand after a steady start for Sri Lanka, really putting them on top. That was the last bit of play before the rains came down. Hasini Pereira missing a full toss, but lucky for her, went through the keeper and down to the boundary.
Yes, so we'll take a short break and we will be back soon as we have some good news here from the Sara Oval.
Season 1, Danuma. Season 2, Charitavaliya. Season 3, Krida Viplava.
The time has come, once again, for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1, Danuma. Season 2, Charitavaliya. Season 3, Krida Viplava.
The time has come, once again, for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Fearless, I'm a stand-be born from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kogu has been her idol.
In my mind, I'm always
It's over for Greenbrick.
Murray has done it.
Incredible.
She's ready to go. Embrace a new dawn.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Fearless, I'm a stand reborn from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kohu has beaten her idol.
In my mind, I'm always
It's over for the free grip.
Murray has done it.
Incredible.
embrace a new dawn.
Thankfully, it was a very brief shower and we've restarted the game. And because of the two boards have agreed, the reserve time for this T20 and the next one will be 120 minutes. There's no reduction of overs. Usually it's 60 minutes. Liatahu bowling her second over. Very good morning to you, Gamini. Excellent start by the White Ferns.
Yeah, good morning, Damit. Good morning, everyone. That's gone up and over. There is a fielder there at deep point. Yeah, one thing that you mentioned, Damit, that is the advantage when you have the T20 games in the morning. You have plenty of time to play with, and that break would have only helped the Sri Lankan girls because the momentum was with the White Ferns, and that little break would have given them time to regather themselves.
Yeah, the home team badly need these two left-handers to go on and make a good one, especially Harshita Samaravikrama. She, I think, one of the more talented batters after Chamari Athapattu in this lineup. Slight change in the field. Lee Kasparek has been pushed back to the fine leg region.
Yeah, two changes. The point comes in, deep third in place. So you could expect the shorter one. There it is. Nicely controlled. Very good shot. Didn't have the speed she wanted, but she had this uncanny ability to wait for it and roll her wrists over. She has shown some qualities, even at goal, Damit, playing the horizontal bat shots. See how she rolled her wrist then? That's a very good shot.
Yeah, second boundary for Harshita. The field remains the same for Tahuhu. It's another poor delivery from the experienced campaigner. Just a single that time. As you said earlier, Harshita, she looked good when she's in the middle. She has a good opportunity to go on and make a big one. Hasini Pereira, as Mr. mentioned, she's got a good 60 in that warm-up game. She seems to be timing the ball well. End of the power play and the 6th over. First one after the rain interruption. Sri Lanka 29 for 3.
Yeah, you mentioned about these two batters, Damit. I think they've got a bit of experience behind them, haven't they? Samara Vikrama and Pereira. Amelia Kerr.
Yeah, straight after the fielding restrictions were eased off, Captain Sophie have brought her main leg spinner. And Gamini, you being a leg spinner, what's the bet? She's going to bowl a wrong one.
She's going to be a handful.
She's going to start off with the wrong one.
Good use of the feet. Pretty brave from Pereira. That just shows Pereira is coming off an inning of 60 and the confidence levels are pretty high, and then she takes decisions in that manner as well. Facing a new bowler for the first time, using her feet, you got to be brave. And against a class act like Amelia. And also surprise move that New Zealand skipper has opted to go with the wrist spinner with two left-handers in the middle. But she, like I mentioned, today in the morning when I saw her practicing on the side track, she's looking to push it a bit quicker. Yeah, good delivery there. She didn't really pick that one. Leading edge, but all along the ground on the offside. Amelia just had a little smile on her face. It's a minor victory for her. Now she knows that she's not picking her ball from the hand.
Oh, that's a wonderful stroke from Hasini Pereira. That's her first boundary. She seems to be reading Melika much better than Harshita Samaravikrama.
Yeah, mid-on was up in the circle. That is because normally against a left-hander right-arm wrist spinner probably would have the mid-on down and the mid-off is up, but maybe she's looking at the googly as her stock ball or the wrong one. She had the mid-off down, but the mid-on up. Now the mid-on goes down. There's a straightish mid-wicket. Oh, wow. She was very brave. She was looking to play the field. Hasini Pereira, bottom edge.
Yeah.
Very lucky. That could have easily gone back to the stumps.
Yeah, almost she stopped on, but Bernadine Bezudeh, she was more excited about celebrating it, and she completely missed it. That's much better from Hasini Pereira. Single to end the 7th over. 36 for 3 Sri Lanka.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Double bowling change. Here's Lee Kasparek. She bowled well in the first T20I also, playing her first game of the tour. Yeah, this seems to be the plan from Captain Sophie. Getting an off spinner from one end and then get your wicket taking option of Melika from the other end.
Yeah, when it comes to T20, you are looking to be as unpredictable as possible. So quick bowling changes. Oh, looking to go. Oh, that she got the gap. She's batting beautifully at the moment. Got a good piece of that one, Pereira. And more importantly, she opened her bottom hand, and even though she hit it uppishly, she got the gap she wanted. She's batting with a lot of confidence, isn't she? She's brimming with confidence, I'll tell you. Very first ball again from a new bowler. I think the New Zealand skipper is having a few things to think about at the moment. The change in the field, the mid-wicket comes towards the offside. I think Kasparek got a bit more turn than the other spinner, didn't she, in the first one? So now there is 4 inside the circle on the offside, a point, cover, short extra cover, and a straightish cover, extra cover, and a long off 5. This time she gets across the stumps. And another single. Good batting this. Putting a lot of pressure on the white fern bowlers and the fielders.
Yeah, so far these two have added 27 runs. Good response from Harshita Samarvikrama. They say when it's behind the keeper, it's the call from the non-striker. She responded well. This is what they need to do more often, Gamini. Somehow get these little ones, little dots to singles. If they can do so.
Missed out on that one.
Yeah, straight away. Again, 4 balls, just 5 runs. They got a boundary of the first delivery. They need to make sure that they reduce the number of dot balls, especially in this 6 to 15 over phase. Slight misfield. Loves Harshita for a single. Fielding plays a major role in T20 cricket.
Yeah, normally the white ferns, they look to set pretty high standards when it comes to fielding. But right throughout this tour, even in the ODIs, they've had a few hiccups in that area. Got more overspin on that occasion. Dot ball to finish. 8 overs, 3 for 42.
Hurry. you have just joined in on this live broadcast, this is the second T20 game between Sri Lanka women and New Zealand women. Live from P. Sara Oval grounds. Melika bowling her second over. New Zealand won the toss, elected to bowl first. They won the first game convincingly a couple of days ago at the same venue. Sri Lanka won the ODI series 2-1. That was in Galle. Hasini Pereira going across the stumps. Gamini probably wanting to play square of the wicket, especially on the onside.
Also interesting tactics from Amelia. She's bowling over the wicket to Samara Wickrama. She's going round the wicket to Pereira. Still trying to fathom out what the rationale behind that. Oh, the googly. That was a chance. That's gone down. That was off the face of the bat. Definitely a chance. Bessedan Holt hasn't had a good series with the gloves, has she? Even in the ODIs, there were a few missed chances again. Samara Wickrama is looking to play with the spin, but it's going the other way. Maybe that's why she's coming over the wicket. She knows that she's not picking the ball off her hand. So 2 dot balls. Bit of pressure.
She's got good spin for that wrong one also, Gamini. It's never easy for a left-hander if you're not reading a leg spinner, and if the leg spinner can turn away from the bat just like that. Good bowling from Melika. Harshita Samaravikrama now for the last 6 deliveries she has got only 1 single. That's much better from Samaravikrama. End of the 9th over. Sri Lanka 45 for 3.
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
45 for 3. 2 wickets fell at 14. That was Leah Tahoe's first over.
Eden Carson back on. These two have added 31 of 34 deliveries.
Incidentally, Damit, that was a 28 dot ball in the innings. Not a good stat if you're a Sri Lankan fan. 9 overs, 29.1, 28 dot balls. But you got to be more efficient than that. Particularly Samara Wickrama. Oh, that was wide.
Yeah, I'm sure the batting coach Malinda Varnapura will make a note of it.
Oh, that was a golden opportunity.
Yeah, short and wide. The least he could do is get a single.
And also there was a bit of pace on it. That was a quicker ball. There's a fielder at 45 and there's a fielder at point. Again a quicker delivery, shorter length. Pereira hasn't had the strike for the last 10 or balls. I think this will be very interesting to see how her mind works at this point. At this level, normally the coaches allow the players to take their own decision that is suitable for that particular point in time. What she's going to do, Pereira. Oh, she came down the track, very well adjusted. That's good batting. That's what you call in world cricket. It's everyone can hit. Any batter can hit. more consistent batters are the ones who can adjust when the ball is not there. That was a perfect example. She was looking to come down the track. She was nowhere near the ball, but played it with dead weight and scored a single.
That's much better from Harshita Samaravikrama, using the pace. Good bit of fielding from Lia Tahuhu. Partnership 35 of 38, much needed stand between these two left-handers. Eden Carson not trying to get some spin. She's just firing it in short. This time again, just a single. 10 completed. Sri Lanka 50 for 3.
Over, time for drinks. Fearless, I'ma stand reborn from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kogu has beaten her idol.
In my mind, I'm always
It's over for free rip. Murray has done it.
Incredible.
embrace a new dawn.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
So there you go, 50 for 3 after 10 overs. Sri Lanka after being put into battle once again by New Zealand in the second T20. They have struggled so far. The first 5 overs they were 21 for 3. Chamari Athabattu run out needlessly for 2. Vishmi Gunaratne followed soon for 7, and then Kavisha Dilhari promoted up the order without scoring. But this partnership of 29 has done good for Sri Lanka so far. 2 wickets for 9 runs in just 2 overs for Lia Tahuhu. She's bowled really well, and the rest have been very economical. So far 6 bowlers used by New Zealand in this first 10 overs, mixing it up like we saw in the first game. 1 over spells for most of them, and that is how they will go right throughout these 20 innings, 20 overs. Sri Lanka got off to a reasonable start. Vishmi Gunaratne picking up a boundary early, and then this run out. Chamari Athabattu just kept on running. Vishmi Gunaratne at the non-strikers end just kept on standing and looking at the non-striker. Samaravikrama got off with a boundary, then Gunaratne departed, and Kavisha Dilhari LBW as well in the same over to Tahu. They were 21 for 3 when the rains came down. There was a short break in play, but since the play has resumed, Hasini Perra and Harshika Samaravikrama have managed to put up a steady partnership. They need to keep going. 10 overs remaining. How much Sri Lanka will get if they go 7 runs per over? They can get to 120. It's interesting how they will bat the next 10 overs, isn't it? A warm welcome to Andrew for the first time today into the com box.
Morning, Ricky. Morning to all our viewers. Nice to be here. Yeah, a lot to do for Sri Lanka. It was a pretty disastrous power play, and these two now, I think that the partnership's worth 37. Couple of boundaries to their names, both settled in. They've got to keep doing what they've been doing.
Partnership is 37 in fact. It's I feel to get to a minimum target of around 120, Andrew, 7 runs per over. It's quite a big task when you look at the Sri Lankan batting and how it has gone, especially the way they batted in the first T20 as well. Nothing is impossible, but certainly this pair have to bat as long as possible, I feel, if they're going to get anything near that 120 plus, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not the kind of pitch where you can come in and immediately do well. It seems it's the same surface that was used for the first one dayer, and we saw how low and slow it was on that occasion. And it takes a little bit of getting used to, and New Zealand they've strengthened their spin attack going into this match. They've got some part-time options as well. The likes of Brooke Halliday, who can bowl those cutters that we saw in the last game. So they've got an attack that's well suited to this surface.
This is a good bowling, keeping the things quiet. Sinipera, she's in form, 20 of 25. Good knock in the warm-up game as well. This is the first game she's playing for this series. Didn't play the ODI series. And she's done well so far, lots of experience for her, Sinipera. So this is sort of a comeback game for her. 11 overs completed, 4 runs off that over, 54 for 3.
Back here, one thing that will worry Sri Lanka is that dot ball number, 32 dot balls, more than any other kind of figure there. Of course, they'll want to hit those boundaries too, but for these two, what's important is to play out as few dot balls as possible. Right now, they're not taking any risks, but can they ensure that they can drop and run those singles, try and hit a couple of twos into the outfield? Play another 3 or 4 overs of risk-free cricket, but make sure that you keep the score ticking over pretty smartly while you do that. It never helps when you have a disastrous run out first ball. You don't want 2 run outs on the batting card.
Up and over extra cover. Might not have the legs to take it to the boundary. They'll get a couple of runs. This is good batting. Sinipera been innovative, not afraid to take the aerial route. Need to keep doing that. It's not all about sixers and fours. The ones and twos are very, very important. And the dot ball factor you brought up, that has been the problem for Sri Lanka cricket in general, actually, over the years, especially in women's cricket. They are unable to keep rotating the strike, which in the years gone by Sri Lankans were really good at. Keep chipping those ones and twos and keep the scoreboard moving.
Very different field for Harshita Samaravikrama than was there for Hasni Pereira. They had the offside field, the offside ring field was all in for Pereira, tempting her to go over the top, but they've got the sweeper out, the offside sweeper out for Samaravikrama.
Manages to get a single.
A little bit of miscommunication there as well, but they end up sorting it out in the end. Plenty of space out there.
It's interesting to see the field changes. Both left-handers once again straightened in the offside inner ring for Hasini Pereira. She has the option of going over extra cover, which she does. There you go. I thought she will pick that area. That's a good shot. That's a clever batting by Hasini Pereira. She knew where exactly she wanted to hit that ball. Soon as he saw it floated up outside the off stump, went through with it and intentionally hitting it aerial. Picks up a valuable boundary.
Yeah, fantastic use of the feet as well. Something we saw New Zealand do in the first match, using their feet quite often, and Sri Lanka didn't do so much. This time, Hasini Pereira coming in, and although she didn't quite get to the pitch of that delivery, she went through with the shot and made a fantastic connection.
She has to be careful here. Still, there is nobody on the boundary towards extra cover backward point region. And this was expected, bowling it much straighter now. strengthening the onside field, keep bowling on that leg stump line. But good batting. That was a good over, productive over for Sri Lanka. 12 completed, 63 for 3.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Fran Jonas in to bowl her third over of left arm spin. It's, there's plenty of cover on the leg side. That was a good shot with Harshita Samaravikrama, or Hasani Pereira, sorry, moving across the stumps to make that what was a pretty straight ball into a good stroke. But there's plenty of cover there for New Zealand.
Yes, a 50-run partnership as well in the process of just 52 balls. So that's a good batting by the two left-handers, almost at a runner ball. Hasani Pereira, the main contributor. But this is good to see after losing those 3 early wickets. I'm sure that a break from rain did them a world of good as well. A time for a breather, because they had lost 2 wickets in an over when the rains came down. So they could have gone back to the dressing room, strategized, made some plans, come out there.
Just in the last couple of overs, you can see a little bit of a change in Hasani Pereira's batting, using her feet a little bit more intent, more positivity. We saw in the rain, there she comes again, she's down the track, and she won't quite get a boundary, but they run a couple. It's good running there from Sri Lanka, and but the leg side sweeper out there, the deep fielder managed to get around to that pretty smartly.
Yes, I like the intent shown by Hasani Pereira. She's using her feet, as you mentioned. She's looking to hit over the top. Walks across the stumps and swings it towards the square leg. She was probably looking to get it much finer, so she could get a boundary. Unfortunately, just a single, taking some risk in the process. They have to do that. They must be having a target in mind, maybe 130 plus. But to get to that 130, yes, somebody has to take the initiative, and Hasani Pereira is doing that right now.
Yeah, we saw Ramesh Ratnayaka, the coach, coming out during that drinks break, and I wonder if his advice had been to kind of up the ante a little bit, particularly to Hasani Pereira.
A single to end the over. So 6 runs of that over, 13 completed, 69 for 3. Partnership has been excellent between Harshika and Hasani. 4th wicket partnership, 55 of just 57 deliveries. They played some good shots. Hasani Pereira in particular has been strong against the spinners, going over the top quite often, using the offside fielder really well. And she's used the experience which was needed in this innings. And playing around with the spinners, moving around in the crease. She's got a lot of runs through that offside. This was that last shot she played, trying to get it much finer towards that square leg region. But overall, it's been a handy, very good partnership when you look at they were 3 wickets down early. Called a wide.
Straight down the leg side from Leah Tahuhu. In to bowl her 3rd over.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed though she didn't get a pat onto it. Probably would have got a boundary. She middled it. Still a single to Sri Lanka. Every run counts.
Just the 4th over of seam bowling that we're seeing from New Zealand so far in this innings. Gives you some idea of what the surface is and what they expect it, the way they expect it to behave.
Leah Tahuhu in her very first over, picking up those 2 wickets over Vishmi Gunaratne and Kavisha Dilhari. She set the tone for New Zealand. Now coming back because they need a wicket. They need a breakthrough, so they brought back the strike bowler.
Yeah, it's just starting to get to the stage where New Zealand will be worried about this partnership now. If these two continue for another 2 or 3 overs, that sets them up, sets Sri Lanka nicely up for those death overs, and sets them up well to aggress, to hit some boundaries later on.
Yeah, Tahuhu, quite tall, long strides. Can generate some pace. Another good hit. Once again going aerial. And she's out caught though. The intention was clear. Hasini Pereira. She was probably trying to get it into that gap between square leg and the mid wicket. Unfortunately finds the fielder. It's a big wicket for New Zealand, and like I mentioned, they brought back Tahu to get that breakthrough. She's the strike bowler, and she's delivered, picking up another wicket, her third. But Hasini Pereira, 33 of 35, played well until this moment.
Yeah, a nice safe catch from deep square leg fielder there. Didn't have a lot to do, but got there smartly, kept her eyes on the ball. And New Zealand have broken the big Sri Lankan partnership. Hasini Pereira, who looked so good during her 33 off 36 deliveries.
She had to keep going, Hasini Pereira. Cannot blame her, cannot take anything away from that innings. It was a good knock. Sri Lanka would have wished though that she could have batted a few more overs. Nilakshi De Silva, 68 games, loads of experience now. Strike rate 98, best of her 63. She's had a decent run in international cricket. Been one of those more consistent players. And another opportunity to look to bat till the end. 6 overs remaining after this. Now I think Harshita Samaravikrama has to take the initiative. She has to play a few more shots. She's the set batter in the centre, like you mentioned. Not easy when you come new to the crease. So Samaravikrama now has to continue what Hasini Pereira did.
Yeah, Sri Lanka have struggled with that line from the seam bowlers just outside off. We saw that in the previous match as well on Saturday. That New Zealand did bowl slightly wide of off stump, not allowing, not far enough out wide for to allow the Sri Lanka batters to free their arms. But that 5th, 6th stump line has been good for New Zealand, particularly through the middle period.
This time much straighter mix up, directed would have got Nilakshi De Silva.
Yeah, she would have been well short, but the throw was a little bit off target. New Zealand, Sri Lanka 71 for 4 after 14 overs.
So 6 overs remaining. If they go run a ball, they get another 36 runs. It will take them to somewhere the similar score they got in the first game. I'm sure they will want more than that.
Maybe occur into her 3rd over. She'd had 2 wickets in the last match.
So I thought she was pretty impressive with both ball and bat. Even with bat, she's the one who really took the initiative, played aggressively in the run chase.
Tempting the batters to hit over that offside if they can. It's Oh, that's a powerful stroke. That's a very powerful sweep shot from Nilakshi De Silva.
Yes, that's a good hit, isn't it? Playing against the turn. She middled that really well. Diving effort on the boundary. Could not drag it in. But starts a run scoring with a boundary.
Yeah, seemed to get in on the toe end of the bat a little bit, but got plenty of power into that shot. The fielder out there, deep mid wicket, had no chance of stopping it. Ooh, one that really some bounce for the first time probably in this series. We've not seen one jump like that. Kerr, the leg spinner, was probably always going to be the one to get the ball to behave that way, but we haven't seen one take off the pitch like that. Generally, there's been some turn, but it's been fairly slow.
Took the wicketkeeper by surprise as well. Again goes for that slog sweep. This time behind square, just a single. That's a go-to shot. She's probably really not sure which way it's going to turn. She's opted for the sweep shot to negate that bit of spin. That could be called wide. Yes, it is. Umpire got touchy. That was the googly, the wrong one. Pitched wide outside the off stump, went further away.
Drops and runs to end the over. Harshita Samaravikrama. Sri Lanka 78. Oh, sorry, one more ball to go.
Yes, so with that wide, Andrew, so one more legal delivery left. 79 for 4. Sri Lanka need to keep chipping away. 23 of 27 so far. She's done a good job. Can she accelerate? Can she step up on that strike rate? That is what is important now coming into the final 5 overs. Samaravikrama has done the hard work. Does she have the temperament, the ability to try and increase that strike rate and take Sri Lanka to a fighting score?
4 fielders out on the leg side, out in the deep. Everyone on the offside in. Again, that sweep shot from Nilakshi De Silva. But she can only get a single for it. That is the end of the over now. 79, 80 for 4.
Season 1, Danuma. Season 2, Charita Veliya. Season 3, Krida Viplava.
Let us come. Sri Lanka 80 for 4 after 15. Harshita Samaravikrama 23 not out. Nilakshi De Silva just into the crease a couple of overs ago. Eden Carson into her final over in this game. Hasn't picked up any wickets, but I think her bowling really produced the wicket of Chamari Atapattu. Ten dots in 3.1 overs, only 12 runs given away. So Carson has had a couple of really good games in the T20 series. Big appeal. And she picks up the crucial wicket of Harshita Samaravikrama. That is a massive wicket for the White Ferns. Samaravikrama had got set in, was looking to score quickly in the last 5 overs, but she's been trapped in front. Not ideal for Sri Lanka going into the last stage of their innings.
Yeah, that was pushed through. Right in front. No doubt about that. That was a relatively easy decision for the umpire. Yeah, good hand from her. 23 off 28. We all know that she doesn't have the firepower to clear the boundary, but she's very quick between the wickets and likes to rotate the strike. So at 82%, the strike rate, good hand from her, 81 for 5, 15.2.
New batter Anushka Sanjeevani, the keeper for Sri Lanka. This pair will have a big job on their hands. Oshadi Ranasinghe not in the side today, so she does offer a little bit of extra batting. That's Sanjeevani's record in T20 cricket. 61 her best score. Average not great. She'll want to stay till the end today. She did put in some valuable runs in the previous game as well.
Yeah, her best score is 61 ST, so half of that would be enough in this occasion. 5 fielders on the leg side, 4 on the off. Gets on the back foot, punched it through the offside for a single. Sri Lanka were in a very similar situation that last game, didn't they? Weren't they 80 odd with just under 5 overs to go? I think the total they're looking at ST is around 130. So how far it went when they scored, what, just tick under 110 last time around, didn't they?
Yes, they did make it really competitive with just 106 on the board. I think the key will be to pick up those 3 crucial wickets. Amelia Kerr, Susie Bates, Sophie Devine, the 3 big fish for New Zealand. They're the ones who have done the bulk of the scoring in all the games for New Zealand so far. So those will be the crucial wickets. But first, Sri Lanka need to get up to that 120 run mark.
So we've got 26 deliveries to go. So runner ball will give them 26. Couple of boundaries, around 34, 35. Something to bowl at, really. Oh, hesitation.
No single there really. Eden Carson ends her spell. 1 for 15 in 4 overs. Another good game for the 22-year-old. That's the end of the 16th. Sri Lanka 84 for 5.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Three early wickets for the Sri Lankan batters. Adapattu run out for 2. Kavisha Dilhari out for a dart. Gunaratna 7. And then there was a partnership, 33 for Hasini and Harshita 23. So these 2 batters, Nilakshi and Anushka, will have to bat well in the next 2 or 3 overs for Sri Lankans to get close to that 120 mark. Outside the line, as well as so far outside the crease. That was pretty much in line.
Yeah, big shout from Fran Jonas, but I think Sanjeevani just coming down the track a little bit might have saved her on that occasion.
That delivery was bowled around 100 k's per hour, I reckon. Fran saw her coming. Again, another important stat. I think all our commentators were pretty much lining that out. ST amount of dot balls in this innings, and that's one area that Sri Lankan batters can work on. Certainly an area they need to polish on. Left arm around the wicket. On the back foot, straight to fielder at 45. Spinners did have a stranglehold against the Sri Lankan batters in that last game, didn't they? The White Ferns, but pretty similar story today.
Yeah, both Sophie Devine and Susie Bates mentioned how these are the type of conditions they had expected coming on a tour of Sri Lanka. They didn't get it in the ODIs in Galle. They got very batting friendly wickets in Galle. So this is more of what they had prepared for in Nelson back in New Zealand. So I think they've got their plans set, and today they've played the extra spinner as well. So they've got all areas kind of covered, having seen what went on in the first T20.
Yeah, particularly you mentioned about the subcontinent conditions when you come. Just looking to heave that towards mid-wicket. Miss it for a single. Yeah, these are the wickets that you get normally. Like I said, it's a lot drier, and at times it's pretty loose on top of the surface, so you really can't gauge the speed out of the track. So to play horizontal bat shots, so use your wrist, which you need in these conditions.
Yeah, and that's why winning the toss is so important, isn't it? Especially for a visiting team coming into a series like this. That's the end of the 17th over. Sri Lanka 88 for 5. Fran Jonas and Eden Carson finishing up their quota of overs, both very economical. Carson the only one able to pick up a wicket between them. Lee Kasparek will now continue.
Yes, you can see from those figures, ST, Leah and Sophia bowled 4 overs together. So they've covered 1 bowler between both of them, and then rely on the other spinners to bowl the balance 16. 2 of them have already finished their allotted 4, and then plenty of options. Amelia has got 1 more. Kasparek, who's got the ball in hand now, she's got 1 after this one. When you consider, that's been hit powerfully. That's gone the distance. And that has cleared the boundary by a long way. That's a terrific hit.
Yeah, great shot from Anushka Sanjeevani. Doesn't have a massive record to show in Sri Lankan colours, but when she does get going, she can clear the boundary. One of the reasons why Sri Lanka do have her in that number 7 position.
I just can't fathom out, when you have the ability to hit down the ground like the way she did, risk-free. Good batting, this time uses her wrist. The point that I was going to make, ST, the T20 World Cup in Bangladesh next year, and then followed by ODI World Cup in India. So you're going to have pretty similar conditions, the 2 cups. So New Zealand will have a good idea about their composition. Played it way too early. Well bowled that. Just held it a fraction.
Yeah, and they haven't used Susie Bates today either. She did pick up a wicket in the previous game. That's another good shot, this time from Nilakshi De Silva, and she bisects the gap. Another boundary for Sri Lanka. So this has been a good over so far. A 6 and a 4 now.
Yeah, they moved to triple figures. 100 comes with that boundary. Placement and power from Silva. So 2 boundaries in this over. It has been a very productive one for the Sri Lankans. Couple of overs in this nature, ST will get them close to that 120 mark.
That's a good over for Sri Lanka. End of the 18th, Sri Lanka 101 for 5.
These are missed chances. This is not a missed chance. That was easy, relatively easy chance. That's one of the easiest ones you'll ever get. Both batters started on one end. Or direct hit. Would have certainly found her wanting. Amelia throwing that down from mid-wicket. Talk about Amelia, she's got the ball in hand, ST, so she's going to finish her 4 overs so far. None for 19. Normally she's pretty much in the wickets column all the time, but got a couple in that previous game, not today. But this is the time. Leg spinners love to bowl this time of the innings, ST. Happy hour. Batters are going for everything. Chance to grab a wicket. All the fielders on the offside are inside the circle. 4 on the leg side. That's it down the ground. 1, 2 bounces to Green at long on.
Yeah, this is an interesting field, isn't it? No one on the boundary, on the offside for Nilakshi De Silva, saying that. One drops back for Anushka Sanjeevani. And the
when it comes to, Steve, when you come to White Ferns, they are a very professional unit, and you can see different tactics to eye the batter. Now extra cover goes to the fence. Beaten by flight. But because the fielders are hanging on the edge of the ring, there's enough time. See, now the extra cover comes into the circle. They know that De Silva go-to shots are probably on the onside.
And also possibly because she did play the sweep really well early in her innings. So just that extra protection with fine leg dropping back. Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that. Could have maybe caught it in one of those gaps on the offside. Just 9 deliveries left in Sri Lanka's innings, so they really need to maximize every delivery. Every dot ball is going to hurt them.
There's pretty much a boundary every over, at least. You need to have both batters lifting heavily from both sides, really. So 4 deliveries in this over. Well, we've got 3 singles so far. Anushka, we've already seen her power and feet in that previous over. So where is she going to go? That's chipped. Might be a couple in this one. Nicely placed. Yeah, De Silva is very quick between wickets. That's good running. Knew exactly what she wanted to do. That was hanging in the air for a long time, and it was a task for the fielders riding on the boundary to prevent that second run.
Yeah, Fran Jonas's family here all the way from New Zealand to see the 19-year-old in action. So that's good to see. I'm sure the White Ferns will be very happy to have some support from home in Colombo.
And also it's a beautiful ground to watch cricket. You are so close to the players. P. Sara Oval. Oh, very well bowled. Again, Bernardine had an opportunity. It was a difficult take because that ball pitched right next to her feet. 106 or 7 for 5 with 1 over to go.
Sri Lanka's second 50 coming in 47 deliveries. The first one in 60. With that big stutter, I believe, in the 5th over with a couple of wickets going down to Lia Tahuhu. Tahuhu back into the attack. She's been brilliant in this game. 3 for 11. Picked up some really crucial wickets in the innings. Starts with a short one. The dot ball for New Zealand.
Yeah, good tactic that. I think the White Ferns have realized that this wicket is not offering a lot of speed. So they will rely on their pace and the length variations when it comes to the quicker bowlers. You could see there's a long leg, square leg and a straightish mid-wicket in place on the leg side. So it's going to be short, might be slower as well. Well, that's a no ball. She had to re-bowl that and 5 runs. Yeah, it's off the bat. She did well. Well, I've been watching Wimbledon last night. Alcatraz will be very happy with that shot. Overhead smash.
Yeah, that probably just slipped off Lia Tahuhu's hands. You can see her kind of wiping off the sweat. Tried to bowl a slower one, I think. Just could not get it to land. And that's well done by Sanjeevani. He kept her eye on the ball, didn't duck out of the way. Ultimately earns herself 5 runs.
So free hit. Mid-on is up. Mid-off is up. It's going to be short. She'll have to clear her front leg. Yep. Catch is taken, but 1 run is the result. So very good start for the Sri Lankans. Just the 2 deliveries, 7 off. They might be able to get to that 120 after all. Let's see another boundary. New Zealand lead the series 1-0. Sri Lanka will have to defend this in order to stay in the series.
Another single, another short delivery from Lia Tahuhu. That's been her tactic. They've come back for 2. In fact, that's brilliant running.
Yeah, took her arm on too. Green feeling a deep square leg. A lot of hang time in that throw. De Silva is very quick, as I mentioned before. Direct, good throw would have had her in trouble. 3 more deliveries. Nice little hand from De Silva and Anushka for that matter. 18 of 13 for her.
Another short one. Once again, they take on the arm of Georgia Plymouth this time. A better throw. But Nilakshi De Silva gets in with another big dive.
Oh, she'll need a couple of seconds to recover after running those 2. Yeah, she's taking in some big ones. De Silva. Good to see Anushka is trusting her partner as well. What she had to do from the boundary. Oh, that's up in the air. Comfortably taken. There goes De Silva. Her contribution, runner ball 22. 1 more delivery to come. Amelia feeling at deep mid-wicket. Taking a comfortable catch. So that's the 4th wicket for Lia Tahuhu. Incidentally, she picked up 4 in that first ODI, or second, wasn't it? Second. So by far, she has been the highest wicket taker in this tour for the White Ferns. Last batter in, and this is how the last wicket fell. Again, lack of speed. Spliced it really. Wasn't off the middle of the bat. But watching all the way to her hands, that's good technique to take a high catch, ST.
Yeah, the White Ferns have been pretty sloppy in the field throughout this tour, but that's a good catch, as you mentioned. They've held on to the chances today. Lakshi De Silva, good hand from her 22 of 26, has got Sri Lanka close to that 120 run mark. At the toss, Chamari Atapattu mentioned that they'd be looking at about 140. Unfortunately, not able to get close to that total. 1 delivery to go. Sugandhika Kumari on strike. This is her record. Batting a bit higher than we usually see her. Last ball coming up. Yeah, one run to finish the innings for Sri Lanka. 118 is what they end up. That was good bowling from Lia Tahuhu. She finishes with 4 for 21 of her 4 overs. Really good bowling display. Every one of those deliveries in the final over just short. So Sri Lanka 118 for 6 after 20. Anushka Sanjeevani finishing on 18 of 13. Sukantika Kumari not out on 0.
So they've got 11 more than the first game. At least there's something. Like you mentioned, maybe 15 to 20 runs short. But that's a lot to do with the amount of dot balls in the innings. When it comes to efficiency, that's an area that they would like to polish. But New Zealand again, collectively, it's a pretty good bowling effort. They've pretty much got a good idea about the conditions now in Sri Lanka. Sophie Devine mixed her bowlers up pretty well and had plenty of options as well to use. So, 118 ST, just a tick under 6 runs per over.
Yeah, as you mentioned, probably 15 to 20 runs short from what Sri Lanka would have wanted. But those 3 early wickets, I think, really put them on the back foot. But Hasini Pereira and Harshita Samaravikrama put on a really good partnership in those middle overs. After the rain break, were able to push Sri Lanka's total higher. Nilakshi De Silva also dismissed for 22. And Anushka Sanjeevani, couple of boundaries to her name, finishes with 18 of 13. 5 wides. 1 no ball from the New Zealanders.
It comes to the bowling card. Casper went for 3 overs, 28. Apart from her, you could have made a case for pretty much all the bowlers, really. Fran opened the bowling, nothing in the wickets column. So is Sophie, just the 1 over. Amelia bowled her 4 overs at a runner ball. But the pick of the bowlers easily, Lia Tahu, 4 overs, 9 dot balls in that, 4 for 21.
Yeah, even Kasparek, it was that 1 over that she went for a 6 and a 4 that really ruined her figures. They bowled really well throughout this game. This is how things started for Sri Lanka. Vishnu Gunaratne getting a boundary in the first over, and then a crucial moment in the game. Eden Carson getting Chamari Atapat to run out. Huge mix up in the middle. And in the very next over, Tahuhu picked up Vishnu Gunaratne and Kavisha Dilhari, putting Sri Lanka in deep trouble, 14 for 3, before Hasini Pereira and Harshita Samaravikrama came together, put on a little bit of a partnership, found the boundary on and off. It was a good knock by Samaravikrama as well as Hasini Pereira, who is playing her first game on this tour.
She was very impressive. Used her feet very effectively. That's how she went. Missed time, a drop kick on the onside, comfortably taken. De Silva was lucky to survive that. And then after that, there was another little partnership between her and Anushka Sanjeevani, which Sri Lanka needed badly at that point in time. That was in the gap for a very powerful sweep shot. That's how Samaravikrama went plumb in front. That was the shot of the innings.
Yeah, the only 6 in this innings. And that was the over that really pushed Sri Lanka to pass the 110 run mark. And no ball from Lia Tahu, who gave them 5 runs. But 118 for 6. They'll have to bowl really well to defend it against this strong New Zealand batting lineup.
So Sri Lanka was in New Zealand, the second T20. New Zealand leading 1-0, and Sri Lanka will have to defend that 118 in order to stay alive in this series.
Yeah, it'll be tough work for the Sri Lankan bowlers, but they do come in with that extra left arm spin option. I think which is a good call by the management. They played Oshadi Ranasinghe in the previous game, but with so many right-handers in the New Zealand lineup, you get the feeling that they would need just one extra bowler to take the ball away from them. So that was good thinking from Sri Lanka. We'll have to see how she goes in the game. But you get the feeling that they'll have to bowl really well if they are to defend this total. So that's the end of Sri Lanka's innings. 119 to win New Zealand need. We'll be back after a short break with Sri Lanka with the ball.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Coming out to after Sri Lanka have made 118 for 6, New Zealand need 119 to wrap up the series. With me is New Zealand High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Michael Appleton. Michael, welcome.
Thanks. Another disciplined bowling performance from the Whiteferns. Very similar to the first game, in fact. They were able to get Adapatu out cheaply and then really contain the boundaries for much of the Sri Lankan innings. So if they bat well here, good chance of wrapping up the series, as you say.
Yeah, Sri Lanka had to recover from a pretty horror power play, actually, 14 for 3. And but they've done well to recover to 118. Harshita Samarawickrama and Asni Pereira having a long partnership. But here's the first ball of the second innings.
Yeah, well, and the intention there was clear from before even the first ball was bowled. Well down the pitch, looking for a big shot.
Yeah, she's batting outside her crease, is Bezuidenhout, or she was in the last ball. I think she's gone back a little bit on this occasion because Sri Lanka brought the keeper up to the stumps. That's why that change has been made. Ooh, big appeal behind the wicket for a caught behind. Bowler didn't seem that interested, and neither is the umpire. But Anushka Sanjeevani, the Sri Lanka keeper, went up straight away. Was very interested in that one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting on replay. It's very hard to get a caught behind when the bowler doesn't appeal. Yeah, hard to tell there.
Yeah. She was the only, Sanjeevani was the only one really interested there. Squeezes out a single towards point. Which brings Suzie Bates on strike. Bezuidenhout, interesting series for these openers. Suzie Bates has had a couple of scores behind her. Bezuidenhout hasn't quite had a big impact with the bat. She's kept very well on some tough tracks.
Yeah, she struggled in the one-day series with her keeping, but I agree with you. She's really lifted her game in the last couple of T20 matches, and hopefully that confidence will bring through some runs with the bat.
Suzie Bates, of course, played perhaps the match-winning innings, or an innings of that pushed New Zealand to that first win. Fantastically experienced player.
Yeah, and they really needed those runs. Lots of quick wickets in the middle of that innings, despite the modest chase. But it really does seem like a pitch. It was certainly like this for the Sri Lankans, that it's very hard to get in on and slow to start. No one has been able to hit boundaries from the very beginning of their innings so far.
Last ball of the first over. Suzie Bates opens her account with a single down to deep third. Good over for Sri Lanka to start, but the New Zealand are 2 for no loss. Here's Suzie Bates's record. The most experienced player across both teams. 144 matches, 3,864 runs, solid average of 29.72, and a very healthy strike rate there too at almost 110. One of, I think it was 2006. She's playing 2006 where she made her career. She's just played for New Zealand forever, it seems.
And she was here in 2012 for the World Cup, I think.
Sugandhika Kumari's left arm spin to open up at the other end. Yeah, didn't play the first match, Sugandhika Kumari, but having seen the nature of this surface, both teams have chosen to strengthen their spin attacks. So she comes into the side.
Yeah, that change to spin up front has been a sort of a change for Atapatu. She was able to sort of get runs early in her innings in the one-day series because she was playing against fast bowlers. But here the White Ferns have changed their strategy a bit, and certainly in this series so far it's worked against the Sri Lankan captain.
Yeah, Eden Carson on both occasions. She bowled Chamari Atapatu in the first T20, and then created the dot balls that led to her run out in the second one. Reverse sweep, but the short third fielder gets across nicely and cuts that off. A single to New Zealand.
Yeah, even that shot selection, the inventiveness required to sort of even get a single just shows that really is a struggle to get runs here. at the moment for the White Ferns openers.
Down the track and almost creating a caught and bowl chance there. Did Susie Bates. She almost, it was not that far away from Sugandhika Kumari's left outstretched arm. A little bit of a leading edge. I think she was trying to hit that through down to long on where there's an easy single. But done in by a little bit of turn from Kumari. But a safe single down to the deep mid-wicket region to follow. Michael, what's going on this week? I think it's a busy week at the High Commission. I believe you have an opening at the end of the week.
Yeah, well, on Friday, New Zealand's celebrating Matariki for the second time as a national holiday.
Big appeal, but the umpire does not seem interested. I think that was headed down the leg side. And New Zealand 5 for no loss after 2 overs.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
There's a Darshika program to continue. Michael, just before the end of the over, you mentioned Matariki. Can you tell us, tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Oh, this is a national holiday in New Zealand for the second time this year. It's commemorating Maori New Year, and when the Matariki star cluster ascends into the sky so that you can see it. So it's celebrated a different day each year, depending on the constellation, and it really commemorates hope, new beginning, new year, and we're using that as an opportunity to celebrate also officially the opening of the New Zealand High Commission here in Colombo.
Tight offside ring fields for Susie Bates. Can't get that one through.
Yeah, you can sort of see it with the field. It's sort of claustrophobic for the batters, and they have to start getting very inventive to try and score runs, and that's where wickets can come from.
And deep thirds come into the ring as well, with long on now going out. But Sri Lanka putting together a few tight overs to start with. New Zealand yet to get their first boundary away. It's not a huge score. So
you saw with the Sri Lankan innings that these dot balls created pressure, and then some calamitous errors by the Sri Lankan batters. They'll be hoping the same happens to the White Ferns here.
Yeah, important when you're defending a small total that you do all the basic things right. You can't afford any fielding errors. The field placements have to be spot on. And so far Sri Lanka kind of keeping a lid on the scoring, though you suspect that Susie Bates will play herself in and then attempt some big shots. She has tried a couple so far, not without a lot of success. I think that one went right through everybody. That's the end of the third over. New Zealand 6 for no loss. Sugandhika Kumari to continue with her left arm spin. Sorry, I beg your pardon, it's Inoshi Fernando who's coming into bowl. She was impressive with the ball in the first ODI. Took some wickets in through the middle period to put some pressure on New Zealand. Now you can see the intent from Bates has used her feet well right through the series, right through the tour, and she's come down a lot to the spinners. Tried it again, but just tapped it down to mid-on that time. This time stays in her crease and lifts it over that mid-on fielder. Had to reach a little bit for that one. That was pitched wide off stump by Inoshi Fernando, but Bates gets a solid connection, well enough to beat that mid-on fielder. And New Zealand pick up their first boundary through Bates.
Yeah, and that'll relieve some of the pressure. You could feel with every dot ball, the batters getting slightly more uncomfortable, but that'll release things a little bit. A good option from Bates. She found the gap well, and a very much needed boundary.
And long on goes back after that one. Long on and deep mid wicket. The two fielders on the boundary. It's a single to follow the boundary up.
Yeah, and you see slightly more space after hitting a boundary gets you a easy single in the ball that followed. So good sequence here for the Whiteferns.
Michael, what have you thought about New Zealand's adapting to Sri Lankan conditions during this tour? They don't play here very often.
Yeah, I think that was probably an aspect of the first game down in Gaul.
There's a brief appeal, a curt appeal from Inoshi Fernando, but it's turned down.
Well, I think it's often the nature of these tours that they're so short that so few days after they arrive that there are no sort of practice games. So I think it took a little bit of time to get used to it. I mean, I think especially the bowlers bowling to someone of Atapatu's class, that took some time to acclimatise. But we've seen in the T20 series, I think, a much more composed bowling performance through the series so far from the Whiteferns.
And just for our viewers who don't follow Michael on Twitter, an absolute cricket nut. I think he's. I think even by cricket Twitter standards, you're tweeting statistics especially. But that's the end of the fourth over. New Zealand 13 for no loss. Looks like Kavisha Dilhari's coming in to bowl that fifth over. But just before the over ended, we talked a little bit about Michael and his love for cricket and statistics in particular. So it's something that you've had for a long time, something you've been interested in, been a long-term passion for you?
Yeah, I think watching this ball.
Let's head out towards deep mid wicket where Sri Lanka do have some cover.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about cricket and the fact that so many things can be counted is you could have such arguments about whether this player is better or this player is better, or the team right now is better than the team from 20 years ago, and numbers help paint a picture of that.
That's tapped just towards that mid-wicket region where there's a lot of space again.
But it's interesting with players really, is I think you talk to them that some are absolutely obsessed with their statistics. Daniel Vittori was one New Zealand captain who was, and some don't care at all, not at all interested in that part of the game.
Just as we look through Kavish Dilhari's stats, 36 matches, 19 wickets, an economy rate of 6.38. Very much a developing right-arm off-spinner for Sri Lanka. Down the track, this time from Bernadine Bezuidenhout, and she She clears that mid-on fielder this time and picks up another boundary for New Zealand. Again, a similar kind of approach from Bates down the track a little bit. Doesn't quite get to the pitch, but gets a good enough connection.
Yeah, in a modest chase like this, what you want when a new bowler comes on is to put them off their stride early with boundaries like that. Really makes it hard for them to settle.
Long on goes back again. Attempts a reverse sweep this time, but can't beat short third. And you find yourself being drawn into debates on Twitter. I think that's the thing that I struggle the most with. I try not to get into arguments about cricket online, but usually end up failing at that.
Yeah, I think another single down to it. Long on there. I think getting drawn into debates can be very dangerous, especially if the other person cares more about the thing than you do. And so I try and avoid it, whether it's about cricket or about other things that I care about. It's best just to stay out of it, unless it's like with a friend of yours or very cordial.
Yeah, those are wise words, I think. Decent over for New Zealand comes to an end. Then a 22 for no loss after 5 overs.
So 5 overs completed, 22 on the board at the moment for New Zealand. It's been a steady start. Susie Bates, as always, 14 off 20. Bernadine, 7 off 10. So I think we have a bowling change. Sugandhika Kumari, the left arm spinner, brought in to this game, replaces Inoshi Fernando. Sri Lanka need a breakthrough. They need to keep picking up wickets if they're going to stop New Zealand from getting to that target. They did that in the last game, picked up regular wickets.
Good hit, very good hit. Sugandhika Kumari is slightly quicker than the other spinners, particularly in the air. This time Bernadine comes down the track, got close enough to have the elevation as well. Just hitting through the line, mid-off and mid-on inside the circle. Yeah, like you mentioned, Ricky, when you have a modest total of 118 on the board, you need to pick up wickets at regular intervals, otherwise at some point in time the batter is going to take over. They're going to have control of the game and they're going to take the game away from you. This is exactly what is happening at the moment. They are rotating the strike off good balls, and there is a fine balance between risk and reward at the moment, and they're executing nicely, the White Fern openers.
Yes, this is something the Sri Lankan batters could not do or have to learn from. You see, as soon as she hit the boundary, next ball looking for the single, keep rotating the strike, not just looking to hit sixers and fours. The ones and twos are equally important. The last game tried to swing one over mid wicket, was out caught of a top edge at mid-on. Bernadine, good looking shot, just a single though.
Run rate required 6.35. They started this chase with just a tick under runner ball required. This is the final ball of the first power play. Bernadine on 12, going at runner ball. Susie 16 of 23. She relies a lot on her conventional and the river sweeps. Bernadine, this time Inuka Ranavira feeling at that 45 positions. You need a very good fielder when Bernadine is on strike. In that position, 45 on the offside as well as on the leg side, because she relies on her sweep shots. 30 for no loss after the first power play.
So New Zealand will be happy that they haven't lost a wicket in this first power play. They got 30 on the board, 6 runs per over. That's a good going. Inoshi Fernando will continue. She was the successful bowler, picking up 3 wickets in the first game in that losing cause. She bowled really well, coming back into the Sri Lankan lineup after some time. Once again, going for that sweep shot. Batting at a runner ball, so this is good work by Bernadine. Three deep on the onside. There you go, Asanka Jayasuriya, the reserve umpire or the 4th umpire in this game, doing his hard work.
Now that the first power play is finished, Ricky, you're allowed to have 4 fielders outside the circle. But Sri Lanka is defending runner ball situation here, so I know it's on the table, but is it an option? You know, you need to keep your attacking instincts as a skipper and try and buy a wicket. Oh, there's a top edge. That's well played. Didn't have the length that she wanted. It was a bit too full, but she still had the bottom hand tucked into her body to get that finer. That's a terrific shot. It looks simplistic, but you need a good skill set to play a shot like that.
Yes, it was well premeditated. She had already switched to play that shot even before it was bowled. I thought Inoshi Fernando had some time, even if she wanted to do a change up there, but she kept it straight, and Bernadine successful. Oh, is that an opportunity? It was way from the wicket keeper. Difficult one. Would run down to the boundary. It's signalled runs. So off the bat. Initially I thought that probably missed everything. But she was way down the track.
Definitely there was some bat involved. She was using her feet, but got nowhere close enough. This has been a very good over for the White Ferns. 2 boundaries in the first 2 deliveries. Change in the field. Square leg comes to a short, fine leg position. What's that? What do you call that shot?
She's trying everything, isn't it? Trying to get Inoshi Fernando away. First we saw that reverse sweep, then charge in the bowler. Now playing something different. But that was another opportunity. Got the bat down in time.
That's a perfect example of having your gloves in front of your eyes, Ricky. There was an opportunity for the wicket keeper to make something out of nothing. He went full over. That couple of boundaries, half a chance for the Sri Lankans. 40 for no loss after 7.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
40 off 42. That's a partnership.
So is there another change of bowling? Yasinoka Ranawira brought into the attack. Just a 1 over for Kumari. most experienced Sri Lankan bowler. Straight away using the feet, Susie Bates. They've done this really well. They have not just stayed back in their crease. They have come down the track. They have played the sweep shots, the river sweeps, trying to unsettle the spinners, isn't it, Garmini, and not let them dominate proceedings.
Yeah, you need those skills, Ricky. When you play on a wicket that is a bit too pace, you don't want to stuck in your crease and give one target for the bowler. And Ranavir might be one bowler who will be able to get some bite off the surface. Again, going for that premeditated reverse sweep. Bernardine given runs off the glove.
When Bernardine is on strike, you feel something is going to happen. Can be a boundary, can be a wicket. The way she's batting, she's taking on the bowlers, taking her chances.
Terrific shot. Magnificent feet. Extension of her hands through the line of the delivery. Cannot get any better than that. With all these innovative shots in T20 cricket, Ricky, still the full face drive is pretty attractive to your eyes. And have a look at this one.
It's Susie Bates, all class, isn't it? She's a top-notch player in international cricket. And she has all those good cricketing shots, whether even it's a T20 game.
Good batting that. Coming down the track for the previous ball, this time hanging on the back foot. That's being smart. Those things you cannot coach. That comes through experience. Trying to outread your opponent. You try to be unpredictable as possible in this T20 format.
Bernardine giving the strike back to Susie Bates.
Ricky, couple of good overs. Now suddenly the required rate is under 6.
Yes, 18 runs of 2.5 overs. They were 30 after 5. So almost 6 runs per over again. So they're continuing that good work. Dot ball to end the over. Inoka Ranavira will take that. Still 8 runs off the over. 8 completed, 48 without loss. Will we have another bowling change? Chamariyathabatu has been ringing the changes regularly, trying to unsettle the batters. 3 on the boundary once again on the onside. Deep backward squared, make wicket long on. Sweeper cover on the offside. The short fine leg now has been employed at mid wicket. And 4 petrol in the inner circle on the offside. So Kavisha Dilhari, the offie. That's out. That's out. I mentioned a couple of deliveries ago when Bernardine is on strike. Something is going to happen. Either she'll get a boundary or either Sri Lanka will get a wicket. The way she was batting. The first delivery, no siders at all against Kavisha Dilhari. Charging the bowler way down the track, and this time the wicketkeeper makes no mistake.
Once again, Bernardine getting out after getting a start, Ricky. I think even in the ODIs we saw a couple of times getting to 20s, but unable to hammer home her superiority in key moments, and that was another occasion. 24 off 21. Still a good hand though when you chase a modest total of 119. New Zealand losing their first, 48 for 1.
Yes, probably New Zealand had also given her the license. You go out there, play your shots. Even if you get out, does not matter. Keep up with the required run rate. And as you mentioned, in a low-scoring game, Bernadine did her job. Amelia Kerr, she batted really well, made 34 in that first game. In form, strike rate of 108, average 23. Very good player in women's cricket. This partnership is crucial here for New Zealand and both Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka need to get another breakthrough. They cannot let these two class players bat for a long time. They'll take the game away.
Okay, Amelia, as we have seen right throughout this series, it's very strong on the back foot. So you need to find the proper speed as well as the correct length to bowl. That was the last dismissal. Good work from the wicketkeeper.
Sri Lanka now must try to build some pressure here, get some dot balls in, try to increase that required run rate. But Susie Bates, innovative. She knew there was nobody in the 30-yard circle at fine leg. Sri Lanka tried to build on this momentum. 50 on the board now, 50 for 1. Coming in the 9th over.
That's the length that you need to operate against Amelia.
So Sri Lanka got to 50 in the 10th over. They were though 3 wickets down, so New Zealand slightly ahead. Not much, but New Zealand have the experience and the firepower towards the end of the latter overs. Again cheeky, down on one knee. Amelia scooping it up, just a single. 9 overs completed, it's 51 for 1.
One of the traditional scoreboards that we have in Sri Lanka, P. Sara Oval, the oldest test venue in this country.
There's lots of history behind that scoreboard. Would have the names of some of the greatest players to play the game on that scoreboard in years gone by, even before Sri Lanka gained a test status as well.
Yeah, talk about the history. The Don has been here.
Great Don Bradman, the great Sir Garfield Sobers. All of them have played on this venue.
That'll be called a wide. She'll have to re-bowl that one. Sri Lankans cannot afford to be loose when it comes to lines.
It's surprisingly, Karanavira was not at the best in that first T20 as well.
Good work from the keeper again. Nice footwork. Pitched up. Going with the shot. There was a bit of risk involved in that. De Silva just gets across to her right. Unable to field it cleanly. These two have good chemistry between them. Ricky, we've seen that in the ODIs as well. Now they've pretty much cemented their position, well, say the batting positions really. Amelia at number 3 now. Susie opens the innings, of course.
So they have played a lot of cricket together, especially in this format. Good use of her feet once again. Susie Bates not hanging back. She's been doing this regularly, both against the off spinner or the left armer.
So we haven't seen a boundary since the dismissal of Bernadine, have we? So the run rate required 6.19. Very good delivery, very good land. Oh, that's not good. That is not good cricket. You're there to prevent a single being taken inside the circle on the offside. Against a classed act like Amelia, you can't let her rotate the strike in that manner.
It's straight towards that fielder and run, and they got it comfortably at the end. This is where Sri Lanka have a lot to learn, how the international batters, the New Zealand batters, just play with soft hands, just using their wrist to get those singles. Don't get a tie down at one end. Oh, big hike across the line. That was not a good shot though, right through the wicket keeper. Will be interesting to see the call of the umpires. There was a bottom edge on that one. Was it catchable? Oh, it would have been very difficult indeed. But was it an opportunity, Gamini?
Yes, there was. I'll tell you what, Susie, as you can see from her reaction, it was a lot slower. She was way too early on that shot, bottom edge. Yeah, there's no chance for the keeper to grab that one. Make no mistake about that. But brilliantly bowled. Sometimes the rub of the green doesn't go your way, and well, on that occasion, Susie was lucky to survive. This time quicker. It's a good battle taking place against two experienced players, Ranavira and Susie Bates. Dot ball to finish. 59 for 1 after 10.
Season 1, Danuma. Season 2, Charitavaliya. Season 3, Krida Viplava.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
New Zealand 59 for 1 after 10. They've looked comfortable out there. Susie Bates once again doing the hard yards to start off the innings. 29 of 32. Amelia Kerr just in. She's been one of the stars with the bat for New Zealand so far on this tour. Sri Lanka have a lot to do if they are to restrict New Zealand to under 119. Inoshi Fernando with the ball. Picked up 3 for 17 in the previous game. Have to think that this is a key part of the game 3.
Yeah, it's been a little bit too easy for New Zealand. They haven't taken too many risks beyond the power play, but the chase is right on track. And yeah, Sri Lanka need a couple of quick wickets here to just put a little bit of pressure back on the New Zealand dressing room. Attempted a paddle sweep there, did Susie Bates, but I don't think, she didn't get any bat on that, and it's been called a wide in the end.
Yeah, she's used that shot really well in her innings so far, just putting it in the gap there, picking up a single or two. Sri Lanka not really plugging that area either, fine leg open.
Down the track, and she's hit that quite hard. The fielder down there at long on was in the game for a little bit, but doesn't end up reeling it in. A fantastic shot from Susie Bates. Has used her feet extremely well during this T20 series. Had a really good connection on that one.
Yeah, Nilakshi De Silva probably thought she has a chance to stop the boundary on that occasion. Good effort from her, but ultimately just too well struck by Bates. She's really made a huge impact in the two games, particularly I think her experience really counting with these low-scoring games.
Yeah, she really held the innings together in the first match. She plays another big shot out towards the deep mid-wicket boundary, but this time the fielder can get across and cut that off. Just a single in the end. But yeah, she held the innings together in that first T20 and is playing another valuable knock here.
He was dismissed with just a couple of runs remaining for the win for New Zealand, and she was quite disappointed by that. Wants to keep going and finish things once she gets in tracks like this. It's not easy coming in as a new batter with a bit of pressure on and the spinners bowling from both ends. So this time she'll want to make up for that knock in the previous game, try to bat right through.
Yeah, just 50 runs required from 50 balls now. Less than a run a ball. They can afford to just knock it around, but Bates down the track again, playing another aggressive shot that just goes past Sri Fernando's right hand.
That's the end of the 11th over. New Zealand 70 for 1.
This is the story of New Zealand's innings so far. Bernardine Bezuidenhout and Susie Bates put on a partnership to start with, but Susie Bates has continued. Sri Lanka only able to make a single breakthrough in the first 11 overs, with Bernardine Bezuidenhout stumped by Anshul Sanjeevani off the bowling of Kavisha Dilhari.
Sugantika Kumari into the attack. She's bowled 2 overs for 11 runs. Sri Lanka will want a wicket out of her. She's coming to this team after missing the third ODI and the first T20. So she'll want to make a big impact in this game. 2 right-handers on at the crease as well. So bit of an advantage for her.
Yeah, and you saw another paddle there from Emilia because she was a bit annoyed at herself for not getting it finer. I think she wanted to go to go much finer than that to give her the chance of getting another a couple or maybe even getting a boundary there. But New Zealand have been innovative in the way that they've played spin. They've done that classic thing that you need to do to spin. Either you come down the track or you go back and you find a way to hit it, with the pace behind the wicket. And again, see Susie Bates, that fine leg area is open. There's no short fine leg in. So that's quite a safe shot, just an aerial paddle sweep. Sorry, that was Amelia Kerr again.
Yeah, and we spoke about how Sri Lanka really struggled to keep rotating the strike in their innings. But New Zealand have found a way. They've used the paddle sweep to good effect, and they've used their feet well.
And as we say, that Bates comes down the track once more, but can't pierce that offside ring field. We did see Sri Lanka use their feet a little bit more in this match than in the previous one. In the previous one, they stayed on their crease and tried to play from there mostly. Another powerful shot from Suzie Bates. That one splits the gap beautifully. The long on fielder was in play again, and deep mid wicket was rushing there too, but it bisected them almost perfectly.
Yeah, that really raced off the bat, didn't it? Inoshi Fernando didn't have too much of ground to cover from long on, but just not able to get there. Outfield also really quick despite the rain early on in the day.
It has been impressive the way New Zealand have adapted to Sri Lankan conditions. They don't get to play in these sorts of conditions very often, and this surface especially. But we'll talk a little bit more about that after in the next over. They're 77 for 1 after 12 overs.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
So New Zealand need 42 of 48. They're looking really comfortable out there. Suzie Bates once again into her 40s. Amelia Kerr on the other end with 8 of 12.
Deshika Prabodhini coming back into the attack. A little bit of seam just to change things up for Sri Lanka. Starts off with a good ball. Yorker length just outside off. Yeah, New Zealand have been, they for a team that doesn't play in these kinds of conditions very much. They've changed the nature of their attack, changed the way that they've batted, and they've looked the more comfortable side in these kinds of conditions in the T20 series at least.
Yeah, I think it shows that they've prepared for these type of tracks. They did mention, as I said earlier on in one of my stints, that Galle wasn't really what they had prepared for. The pitches were a lot flatter, a lot better for batting. This is more of the type of wicket they would have been expecting coming into the subcontinent. And with a couple of World Cups in Bangladesh and then India coming up, I think this is great preparation, particularly because they've brought so many youngsters with the side.
Yeah, they're really targeting that that deep third and then fine leg areas. Both these batters. I think Anushka Sanjeevani's worn something probably on the grill there. So that is getting a little bit of medical attention. It's protocol now with the care around concussions when someone gets hit in that area. The physio runs straight out. She seems to be okay though. Yeah, I think that came off Bates's bat, and straight into Anushka Sanjeevani's grill.
Yeah, that's the danger, keeping up to a pace bowler. Lucky she has the helmet on, I think. Isn't it compulsory now when you're keeping up to a quick?
Yeah, I believe so. There's also all sorts of, keepers over the years have tried all sorts of face plates. I remember Peter McGlashan, a New Zealand keeper, playing a baseball style face covering. It's definitely better safe than sorry when you're keeping to seam bowling. And to spinners, I think a lot of keepers now are used to wearing their helmets even, the entire time while keeping up.
For Prabodhini, Sri Lanka do have a short fine leg, and she's pretty fine as well. Trying to cope with the option that the New Zealanders are taking with that lap sweep.
Yeah, it's caused a couple of little problems in this over. That Yorker length ball just outside off. New Zealand batters haven't been, Bates especially, hasn't been super comfortable with it. Haven't been able to get her away the way she wants, but New Zealand have a lot of balls to play with. They don't need to be scoring particularly heavily at the moment. But Bates, brilliant shot there. She expected that one, another foolish delivery outside off stump. She moved across her stumps and absolutely nails that drive. It was almost, it was a short arm jab more than anything. Gets it all the way along the ground to that cow corner boundary.
So Susie Bates has moved on to 46 of 44. Brilliant boundary off that last delivery of the last over. Kavisha Dilhari now back into the attack. Dilhari, the only wicket taker for Sri Lanka today. Bazed and stumped by Anushka Sanjeevani, but since then it's all been Susie Bates.
Short-ish mid-wicket, the only fielder in the leg side in the ring for Kavisha Dilhari, as she bowls Amelia Kerr. She tries that paddle, that overhead paddle again, and gets it nicely enough, gets it fine enough of that fine leg to get herself a couple of runs. It's not a shot that in years gone by you would have said was a safe shot, but with this kind of field. And with the kind of strokes that players practice now, a pretty safe option for Kerr.
Susie Bates now up to 46 of 44 deliveries, is the player with most number of half centuries in women's T20Is, and that's once again brilliantly paddled away by Amelia Kerr. She finds the boundary.
Yeah, was annoyed with herself in the previous over from this end when she didn't get it fine enough, but twice now, so 6 runs off 2 balls. That was a bit faster from Kavisha Dilhari, so she used the pace nicely. The fine leg fielder, there was no chance she was getting across to cut that one off.
Yeah, and it's almost a risk-free shot, right, with Kavisha Dilhari spinning the ball into Amelia Kerr. No fielder. As I say that, they've brought in fine leg into the ring. The fielder from short mid-wicket moving to that area.
And Kerr responds by coming down the track this time, just chopping one into the offside, taking a quick single to Chamariyatha Pattu who runs in at cover.
Again, that's what the New Zealanders have done so well, haven't they? They've rotated the strike when they're not able to find the boundary. Sri Lanka look like they really don't have too many answers in terms of how to restrict them right now.
Yeah, they've looked comfortable, and whatever challenges Sri Lanka have thrown at them in terms of bowling style or fielding positions, they've managed to find a way to score pretty comfortably. It's been a convincing batting effort so far.
Brings out the sweep on that occasion. Sri Lanka have cover in that area. Laxi De Silva in the deep. Things slipping away from Sri Lanka now, 27 of 37. Looking like a comfortable chase for New Zealand. If they do win this, they will take an unassailable lead in the series 2-0, I beg your pardon.
And they'll they'll take a lot of comfort in that after what perhaps for them was a bit of a shock loss in the ODI series. It's 14 overs gone, 93 for 1 New Zealand.
So this has been the innings so far. New Zealand looking really comfortable in the middle. Started off well with Susie Bates and Bernadine Bezuidenhout. With the keeper's dismissal, Amelia Kerr's come in. They built another good partnership. Not looking easy for Sri Lanka. They've used their feet really well, used the crease really well. Sri Lanka have not really had any answers to what the New Zealanders have brought to the table. That was the wicket of Bezuidenhout. Bates using her feet well, finding the boundary, seems at will. Inoka Ranavira into the attack now. Ranavira still sitting on 77 T20 wickets, mentioned in the previous game. Leading wicket taker alongside Shashikala Sirivardhana for Sri Lanka in T20 cricket. Wasn't able to add to her tally there. They'll be looking for a wicket here.
Wants a little bit of a leading edge, but safe enough for Susie Bates, who's too short of a very well-deserved half-century.
Yeah, it's been a good battle between these two so far. Ranavira not giving anything away.
Picks up an easy single to deep square leg. But Estelle, in these kinds of situations, what can Sri Lanka do to kind of shake things up and to prompt some false strokes from this New Zealand top order?
I think whatever they've brought up, New Zealand have really played it well. It's a beautiful shot by Amelia Kerr through the gap on the offside. I think that's one of the few boundaries we've seen on the offside in this partnership. So they've played the field really well.
Yeah, we've seen Kerr go through fine leg and now play a far more classical shot right through that cover region. Timed that ball beautifully.
Yeah, that's the thing with a player like Kerr, isn't it? Such a complete batter. She was going for the lap sweep continuously. Once Sri Lanka plugged that gap, brought in the short fine leg, then she goes on the offside. That's good running. Susie Bates. $100 up now for New Zealand. 14.5 overs. Partnership of 52. 40 deliveries. That's the end of the 15th over. New Zealand 100 for 1.
The time has come, once again, for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
So second wicket partnership, 52 over 41. Amelia Kerr and Susie Bates, the two experienced players taking on the Sri Lankan bowling. It has been a dominant performance so far with the bat. Chamari Athapattu bringing herself on into the attack, trying to get a wicket, trying to do something. And what a half century. 50 of 50 to Susie Bates. Well played. Continuing the good form on this tour. Continuing where she left off in the first T20. 26th T20 international half century. to the experienced world-class Susie Bates. 6 fours in this innings at a strike rate of 100 on this surface. It's very good batting. Kamini, they have come out with a plan. I think it's a total different approach to how they batted in the first T20. Here they used their feet, they have used the sweep shot, the paddle sweeps, the river sweeps. They have attacked the Sri Lankan spinners, and you could see their approach to this innings has been so much different.
Yeah, you're right. New Zealand White Ferns, they're a pretty professional outfit, so they obviously have done their homework. Like you mentioned, that small total that they chased that last time around, 107. They got into a bit of a hole, and then somehow they were managed to come out of it. But today, like you mentioned, they've used their experience, and playing on this surface 2 days ago also must have helped, because these girls are very experienced and they've played right around the world. We know Amelia played in the Women's Premier League in India, Ricky, so she knows the onions when it comes to these kind of tracks, and comprehensive performance days. They're totally outplaying the Sri Lankans in all three departments, there's no doubt about it. And Susie Bates, you mentioned, she's such an asset to any team. Well, that had ABBA written all over it. Take a chance on me. That's how slow that ball was.
A single of the last delivery, 6 runs off that over, 16 completed. It's 106 for 1. So 26th half century in T20 internationals for Susie Bates, still out there. It has been a very impressive innings. Used her feet really well against the spinners, and played at some top-notch shots, correct cricketing shots. She generally likes to play straight, go over the bowler's head, mid-off or mid-on regions, and just played the bowlers on their merit. And it has been another highly impressive innings from Susie Bates.
As you can see, the impact points where she is when she's actually playing the shot. She's so far in front, standing right back on the crease. She's playing with the bowler's mind when it comes to the length, and all your knowledge is your experience, Ricky, and we know how she's been there for donkeys, hasn't she? She has made her debut in 2006, so
yes, at one stage the required run rate was well over 6 runs per over as well, Gamini. That's in the air though, this could be a wicket. This time Susie Bates trying to hike it probably over mid-wicket, playing against the turn of Inoka Ranavira. Gets a leading edge, just bubbles up on the offside, easy catch.
Ever since Ranavira came into the attack, it has been a terrific battle between these two. And this time, Ranavira having the final say. That was a lot slower, and Susie, one of very rare shots in her innings, looking to break her wrist towards the mid-wicket, and that one spun. But nevertheless, she's done the bulk of the work for the New Zealanders to get through the line here, get over the line, I should say. 52 or 53 in these kind of conditions. That's a terrific knock. 107 for 2.
It's Sophie Devine, the captain, got out for naught in the first T20, trying to hit one over square leg, was caught in the deep. In just the second delivery she faced, but she's come out there just to probably just ensure that her team gets home. Inoka Ranavira picking up her first wicket. Oh, she should have stopped that one. Gets through, gives away a single, gets the new batter off strike as well. This is where Sri Lanka needs to keep building the pressure.
See, when you come in and you're following a duck in your previous innings, Ricky, the opposition every responsibility is to keep her or not, and that wasn't the greatest piece of work that you'll ever see.
So you didn't see the effort in that one from Inoka Ranavira. I felt the commitment to get down, ensure that she doesn't let the new batter off strike. That is where Sri Lanka, the small bits and pieces, small things. Oh, there you go. Another overthrow. Sloppy, very sloppy in the field, Sri Lanka now. Taking things very easy, likely just giving away another run. You need to fight for every run. Try to take the game deep as possible. Just 9 runs away now from victory of 20 deliveries. See, just a lob to the bowler, and Inoka Ranavira wasn't ready for that one, took it very likely.
Yeah, there's not a lot of debate these days about the rules, Ricky. After that Bairstow incident in the Ashes, so you got to know when the ball is dead. That's why in white ball cricket, most of the time the fielder sends the ball back to the wicket keeper and take it back to off first, so the ball is dead. We'll come back to that. 1-1-1 for 2.
So we have Deshika introduced into the attack. She's been very economical. 3 overs for just 8 runs. She did a very good job in the first T20 as well. Picked up a wicket. And once again brought back into the attack for a final over. They're looking for another one. I was mentioning earlier, one time the required run rate Gamli was well over 6 runs per over. But the New Zealand batters were not flustered at all. Deshika beaten the batter several times today. She's bowled
I've been very impressed with her after that first ODI, Ricky, where she relied on her. She was relying on her stock in swing as the stock ball, and then she realized the conditions, and then she changed from her stock ball to the cutter, and ever since she's been applying enough pressure on these white fern batters. She has been terrific today in these conditions. As you can see, she's holding the seam up, but she runs her fingers over the seam. There you are. So she's taking the pace right off.
Yes, she certainly hasn't been easy to get away at all. And she keeps it stump to stump. Keeps it straight. And when you bowl at this slow medium pace, it's very difficult to get away. She's not given the batters any width at all outside that off stump. Her accuracy is her weapon.
And who'd have thought in conditions like this that she could be a weapon with the older ball?
Certainly. At that speed she's bowling. Once again you see just the 2 runs off this over. That was the last wicket to fall. Inoka Ranavira picking up the big one of Susie Bates. Right in the block hole. They may get 2, looking for 2. Sent back. Bit of yes-no call there. They just need 5 runs of 13 deliveries. Looking very comfortable. We mentioned that Sri Lanka needed to get a 130 plus if they're going to really trouble the New Zealand batters. Anything below that, New Zealand always was within a chance to get there.
Sophie Devine, she's very capable of reaching that target with 1 hit. We all know her capabilities. When she hits, it stays hit. But missed time, heave towards the leg side, results in 1. 115 for 2.
They won the last game in 18.5 overs. So we are into that 90th over once again. I'm sure they'll be looking to finish it off in this over. It has been a very comfortable run chase, you'll say, because they have always been in control of this run chase. There was not at any given time that you would have felt that Sri Lanka were in control of the game. Right from ball number 1, they looked comfortable. Kept picking up those singles, ones and twos, hit the loose ball away, and played some positive cricket. Just knocking it down to long on. Just one hit away from victory now. 2 runs needed. Will Sophie Devine finish it off in style and take this unbeatable 2-0 lead in this T20 series?
Well, she has left her younger partner, Amelia, to do the honours of scoring the winning run.
She has been outstanding. Picked up wickets in the first game, scored 34 in the first game. Today once again was good with the ball. 32 now of 32 deliveries. Brilliant all-rounder, Amelia Kerr for New Zealand. And there you go. Finishes off in style indeed. Just chipping it over the bowler's head. Picks up that single. And they are home, New Zealand. This time it took them 18.4 overs. 1 delivery less than the first T20. But what a win. 8 wickets. Comfortable at the end, Gamini.
Yeah, magnificent batting performance again. Led by Susie Bates. High fives all around. I think ever since the first ODI, this series has been played in good spirit between both teams, and it would have been a hard pill for them to swallow, Ricky, after that ODI loss. They were a deflated bunch, weren't they? Unexpectedly going down to the Sri Lankans in the ODIs. But they have rectified all those areas that they have to, and comprehensively winning the series 2-0 with 1 to go.
Yes, certainly it has been a professional performance by a world-class team in New Zealand. This is the cricket we know they play, they are capable of. And yes, they would have been on the back foot after that ODI series, but in this T20 series, they have been clinical in both games, and today even better than that first one. Chamari Athapattu will be disappointed. Cut out for naught in the first game today, a run out in a big mix-up, and she hasn't been able to carry on a good form and contribute so far in this T20 series as the teams go through their rituals, the handshakes. And I'm sure New Zealand will be very, very happy. After losing the ODI series, now they won this series 2-0 with 1 game to go. They'll be looking for a whitewash when they come back in 2 days' time here to the Oval. And all 5 occasions they have won the toss, selected won the toss and taken their decisions in this T20 series, chasing in both games, and it has been successful for them. We had some rain, we had a bit of a drizzle cloud cover, but at the end of the day we had a good game of cricket here at the Oval. New Zealand on the happier side. The dugout will be very, very happy. Their senior players have taken on the responsibility. Susie Bates, Amelia Kerr, Sophie Devine, Leah Tahuhu with the ball. They have stood up and performed when it has mattered, and got over a young Sri Lankan or inexperienced Sri Lankan side that we could
you mentioned that name, Leah Tahuhu. I think last thing, and anyone could have expected for a quicker bowler to be the dominant bowler in these conditions, but She picked up wickets at regular intervals, and she did pin the Sri Lankan top order to the floor, didn't she? With some fabulous, magnificent spell of bowling. Picked up 2 wickets in her first over and never looked back since then, and that had a major dent in the confidence of the Sri Lankan top order, and that's why they wanted to be around 140 to 150, and they finished at 118. Bernadine got a start again, 24 off 21. Susie Bates was magnificent, 52 off 53. Amelia, she does what she does best all the time, comes up with some sort of a contribution every day of the week. 33 off 33. Sophie Devine came and finished things off.
Five extras in that innings. Udeshika was outstanding, economical. 4 overs for just 12 runs. Sudhandika Kumar 3.4 overs for 22. Inoshi Fernando today unable to pick up wickets. 3 overs for 27, slightly expensive. Kavisha Dilhari 3 overs, 1 for 22. Inoka Ranavira 1 for 28. Chamari Atabatu just the 1 over, just not enough for the Sri Lankan bowlers. But then again, it is the batters. It's not enough a score to defend. You needed 130 plus, be a 140 against a strong New Zealand batting lineup to put them under pressure. But they didn't have the runs on the board, and New Zealand got there comfortably at the end. They came out aggressively, played their shots. Susie Bates and Bernadine, they were not afraid to take on the Sri Lankan spinners. Though the Sri Lankan spinners tried hard, the New Zealand batters, they dominated. Bernadine in particular in that partnership played all sorts of shots, the reverse sweeps, the paddle sweeps, the conventional sweeps. She was not afraid to come down the track until she missed one and was stumped, but she took her chances and played some good cricket. Susie Bates, the conventional shots from her. That was the wicket of Bernadine, who was stumped. Thereafter, Amelia Kerr joined Susie Bates in that partnership, and they just took the game away from Sri Lanka. 2 outstanding players, 2 outstanding batters, and they knew how to get about their work. Running between the wickets was impressive, putting the loose ball away, just toying with the Sri Lankan spinners, never letting them settle down, and a few good shots in between. Susie Bates got to another half century here, 2016 T20 internationals, before she was out, and Sophie Devine saw it through with Amelia Kay towards the end to win in 18.4 overs.
Losing the toss and being invited to bat first. 118 for 6, losing their skipper for a run out. Mid-order batters contributed with Hasini 33, Harshita 23. Leah was terrific, 4 for 21. New Zealand 2 for 119. Susie Bates 52. Amelia 33 not out. New Zealand won by 8 wickets.
So there you go, Susie Bates, a good half century, a quality player. We've said right throughout her innings, she plays some good cricketing shots, using her feet really well, looking to play straight. She was very impressive, beautiful to watch when she plays those conventional cricketing shots. And she's a dominant T20 player, dominant international player. Has scored runs around the world against all attacks, and today another impressive half century. Leah Tahuhu, 4 wickets for her. Gamini mentioned you would have not thought that a tall fast bowler will pick up wickets on this sort of a surface, but the length she bowled was very crucial. She troubled all the Sri Lankan batters just short of a length. That was a drag on by the youngster. Cut out early. Then the LBW of Kavisha Dilhari walking across the stumps. That was in the first spell. Those 2 wickets really put Sri Lanka on the back foot. Then came back and picked up another couple of wickets. Sini Perra was the first to go caught in the outfield. And she bowled impressively. Her length was the key on this sort of a surface, and identifying what has to be done, and that's the experience of Lia Tahu as well. So we'll go in for a commercial break, and soon after that it will be the awards presentation.
Season 1 දැනුම, Season 2 චරිතාවලිය, Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව.
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Fearless, honest and reborn from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kohu has beaten her idol.
In my mind,
It's over for Great Britain.
Murray has done it.
Incredible.
embrace a new dawn.
Aggression is what we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Fearless, honestly born from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kogo has been her idol.
In my mind,
Just over her free grip.
Murray has done it.
Incredible.
embrace a new dawn.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This June, will the English strike back?
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sports Network.
Season 1 දැනුම Season 2 චරිතාවලිය Season 3 ක්‍රීඩා විප්ලව
The time has come once again for the Warriors to battle in pursuit of supremacy. Dialog Schools Rugby League. The battle for supremacy starts in June.
Catch the excitement real time. Be up to date with it all. Let us capture your milestones. Get it sizzling hot off the turf. Hear the experts break it down. Dig deep into the nitty-gritties. Be inspired by their greatness. Relive all the scintillating action.
Fearless, honest and reborn from the flames that rise up. Pushing on.
15-year-old Kogo has beaten her idol.
In my mind,
Just over the free rip.
Murray has done it.
Incredible.
embrace a new dawn.
Aggression is that we come to expect.
The Ashes is about to witness a new game plan.
It's a record chase for England in Test cricket.
This too will the English strike back.
We're desperate to get it back.
Watch cricket's arch rivals, England and Australia, lock horns in the Ashes, only on Sony Sport.
So there you go. We have just completed the second T20 New Zealand women versus Sri Lanka women on this tour to Sri Lanka in 2023, and in New Zealand taking the second T20 quite comfortably and taking a 2-0 lead in this 3-match series. Well, we'll take a look at who are the award winners, who is the player of the match. Down there in the presentation ceremony is Damit Weerasinghe.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the post-match presentation of the second T20I game between Sri Lanka women and New Zealand women. First of all, I would like to speak to the losing captain, Sri Lanka, Chamari Athapattu. Chamari, another hard game for you all. Where did Sri Lanka lose this game again?
Actually, I got out in first 2 overs. The main reason that, and I think 118 runs is not enough for defend. So especially in these conditions, at least we have 140, 145 because New Zealand has good batting lineup. So yeah, our bowling department done really good today, but unfortunately batters doing some more mistakes today. So we have to adjust these conditions for next games.
Now the series is already lost. What plans for the final and the third game?
Yeah, I know. I know the series is gone, but the thing is, every point is very crucial for the ranking. So we stick with our plans. We try to play our positive we try to play in our positive cricket next game.
Thank you, Chamari. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Next, we'd like to speak to the winning captain, Sophie Devine. Sophie, again, a good all-round performance from your team. What good things did you all do, especially in this game?
Oh look, I thought Leah Tahuhu was outstanding with the ball. It's obviously pretty spinner friendly, so for a pace bowler to be able to pick up a couple of key wickets was really crucial. And then with the bat, Susie again playing anchor and then Melly being able to bat around her. So pleasing all-round performance.
Again, you all had another extra spinner today playing this game. What sort of assistance did the spinners get?
Oh look, I think the wicket's reasonably slow. I think it's sort of what we expected. So to be able to call on Fran and bring her into the side and have plenty of overs of spin is certainly a nice thing to have as a captain. But they all have to, perform, and they've done that really well today.
Thank you, Sophie. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Then we have the player of the match. To give away the player of the match award, I would like to invite His Excellency, the New Zealand High Commissioner for Sri Lanka, Mr. Michael Appleton, for her brilliant bowling performance, 4 wickets for just 21 runs. The player of the match in this second T20I International, Leah Tahuhu. Yeah, first of all, congratulations in winning the Player of the Match award. On a spin-friendly wicket, a fast bowler taking 4 wickets, how pleased are you?
Yeah, really happy with that. Obviously, we went away after the first game and talked about how we as pace bowlers can be effective, so it was nice to go out there and execute some of that today.
How's been the tour so far for you, individually and as a team as well?
Yeah, I think it's been good. It's been obviously a lot of learnings and playing in some different conditions from Gaul to what we're now playing on here in Colombo, so we've had to adapt quickly, and I think we've done that quite nicely.
Thanks, Leah. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
So that's it from the post-match presentation.
Yes, thank you, Damit. So there I go, Leah Tahu for 4 wickets, the player of the match, and New Zealand winning the game comfortably at the end by 8 wickets. So there you go, that's the match summary. Sri Lanka put into bat just 118 once again, losing at the Patu earlier. Hasini Perera batted well for a 33, Harshika Samaravikrama 23, Nilakshi Disimba 22. Yatahu 4 for 21, and Eden Carson once again brilliant, 1 for 15. Chasing down the target, Susie Bates 52 of 53, her 26th international T20 international half century. Amelia Kerr seen the team home 33 not out, and Bernadine getting 24. Kavisha Dillari and Inoka run away, picking up a wicket each. New Zealand winning the second T20 and also winning that series with 1 game to go by 8 wickets. So 12-0 now in favour of New Zealand. T20 internationals, 12 played, all 12 to New Zealand. Sri Lanka still will have some hope that they could win the third one and win their first T20 international in 2 days' time against this strong New Zealand outfit. Well, so far it has been a very good tour to Sri Lanka for New Zealand. They lost the ODI series 2-1 though in a goal, but they won both the T20s so far. 2 days ago here by 5 wickets, and today by 8 wickets. 1 more game left in this tour. That's in 2 days time on the 12th of July here at the Sara Oval, the third and final T20 coming up. So, and of course we will be bringing you that live coverage of the third T20 as well from the Sara Oval. When New Zealand women take on Sri Lanka, we will be coming to you live on the Papare.com and Dialog TV. So please join us approximately 9:45 a.m. Sri Lankan time for the third T20. So that's it from all of us here from the Papare.com, from the Oval, from the commentary box. We'll meet you again in 2 days' time. Until then, it's a goodbye.
Came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.